Let us begin in the quietest hour, the hour before the dawn. The night is a deep ocean of silence. The city is a lost continent sleeping on the seafloor. Above, the last of the stars linger. They are a fine silver dust scattered upon dark velvet. The moon is a thin sliver of polished bone. It casts long, gentle shadows across the sleeping world. The shadows of cypress trees are dark fingers. They point toward the fading constellations. The shadows of great temples are slumbering giants. They dream of marble and memory. A cool wind drifts from the distant hills. It carries the clean scent of damp earth and wild herbs. It whispers through empty colonnades. It moves like a ghost across silent courtyards. It touches the cold faces of statues who have kept their watch all night. The streets are hollow channels. They are carved from stone and shadow. They are empty of all life. For now they are only pathways of silence, waiting for the river of people that will soon flood them. They wait for the sound of sandals on stone. They wait for the murmur of 1,000 conversations. The great public square is a silent stage. Its grand buildings are sets for a play that has not yet begun. The air itself seems to hold its breath. It is still and heavy with the dreams of 1,000,000 souls. The dreams of senators and soldiers, of bakers and weavers, all sleep behind closed doors. A profound stillness reigns inside countless homes. It fills the grand houses on the hills. It settles in the tall apartment blocks in the lower valleys. The hearths are cold inside. The embers are grey ghosts of yesterday's warmth. Clay lamps hold no flame. They only hold the faint smell of spent olive oil. In these quiet spaces, the city is a collection of silences. Each room is a small vessel. It holds the quiet breath of its sleepers, the soft rise and fall of a chest, the murmur of a dreamer's forgotten word. These are the only sounds in a world made of stone and sleep. But a change is coming. It is a slow and silent flood. On the eastern edge of the world, the darkness thins. The deep, starless black softens to a bruised purple. It is the color of a fading dream. The light does not rush in. It seeps into the world, gently. It is like water soaking into dry earth. The remaining stars give up their fire. They dissolve one by one like salt in water. The sliver of moon grows pale. It becomes a ghost of itself, a faint chalk mark on a lightening slate. This new light touches the highest points of the city first. It kisses the gilded eagles atop the tallest columns. It traces the roofs of the temples on the hills. It makes the marble gleam with a soft, internal fire. The long shadows begin to shrink. They pull back from the open squares. They retreat into the narrow alleys. The world is slowly taking on shape and form. The great stone buildings are no longer just dark masses. They are now structures of soft grey, their edges defined against the growing light. And then comes the first sound. It is small and lonely in the vast quiet. A single rooster cries out from a distant courtyard. Its call is a thin, sharp thread stitching the silence. It is answered by another, farther away still. For a moment, that is all. The silence returns, but it is different now. It is a silence that has been broken. It is a silence that is listening. Soon, another sound joins the air. A wooden shutter groans as it opens. A single window on a high floor becomes a small rectangle of warm, yellow light. It is the first lamp of the day, a tiny man-made star in the twilight. From a small bakery tucked into the fold of a hill, a tendril of smoke rises. It is a grey ribbon unfurling into the cool air. It carries the first scent of the new day. It smells of burning wood and the promise of bread. The city is still sleeping, but it has stirred. It has taken its first shallow breath of the morning. And now the awakening quickens. It is a tide turning, a slow but certain pull. The light is no longer tentative. It is a soft, golden wash that fills the hollows of the city. It pours into the narrow streets. It illuminates the frescoes on courtyard walls. It finds the dust motes dancing in the air of 1,000 sleeping rooms. The sky in the east is now the color of a pale apricot. The chill of the night begins to retreat. It lingers only in the deepest shadows and on the cold stone of the aqueducts. The sounds multiply. They are still small and separate, but they create a new kind of quiet, a quiet that is full of potential. The lonely call of the rooster is now a scattered chorus. It echoes from tenement rooftops and garden enclosures. The groan of a single shutter is answered by another, and then another, a slow domino effect across the face of a building. Inside the houses, the first movements can be heard. A soft shuffle of leather sandals on a mosaic floor. The clink of a bronze jug against a stone basin. The low murmur of a voice, thick with sleep, calling a name. The heavy wooden door of a grand house swings inward. The sound of its massive bolt being drawn is a low thud that seems to shake the air. From the bakeries, the scent of bread is a warm cloud. It drifts through the alleys, a rich and comforting promise. It mingles with the sharp, clean smell of wood smoke from household hearths. The city is beginning to exhale. The dreams of the night are dissolving like mist in the growing light. The great stone organism is slowly stretching its limbs. In the barracks, a trumpet sounds a single, clean note. It slices through the morning air, a call to duty that is as old as the city itself. It is not yet the sound of marching feet. It is not yet the clamor of the marketplace. It is the sound of preparation. It is the city gathering its strength. It is the quiet moments before the great machine of the day begins to turn. Then the sun itself crests the distant hills. It is a great shield of incandescent bronze. Its light is no longer a gentle wash. It is a brilliant flood pouring into the streets and squares. The city, which was first shadow, then grey, is now painted in gold and warm terracotta. The last of the shadows flee, shrinking into the narrow spaces between buildings. The air warms, losing its final edge of night's coolness. The damp stones of the street begin to steam, releasing the faint, clean scent of rain from a week ago. The city's veins begin to pulse with the first slow trickle of life. Down a long, straight road, a solitary figure walks. It is a servant on a morning errand, his footsteps echoing in the relative quiet. From a tenement door, a child darts out, chasing a stray dog for a few feet before being called back inside. A priest, dressed in clean white linen, walks with measured steps toward a temple whose marble columns now gleam with an almost blinding light. The first cart of the day rumbles out of an alley. Its wooden wheels protest against the uneven stones, a low, grinding song that speaks of heavy loads. The sounds are beginning to layer. The distant clang of a hammer on an anvil joins the chorus. The quiet conversations of neighbors opening their shops create a soft, continuous murmur. The smell of baking bread now mingles with the sharp scent of watered wine being used to clean a tavern's floor. It mixes with the earthy aroma of herbs from a window box warmed by the sun. The great machine is now turning. Its gears are engaging, slowly, deliberately. The deep silence of the night has fully given way to the gentle hum of the morning. The city is no longer a sleeping thing. It is awake, and its great heart has begun to beat. The sun has climbed higher. It is a confident eye in the blue sky. It burns away the last pockets of morning mist. It warms the rough wool of 1,000 tunics. The city's gentle hum is now a steady, rising chord. The single footsteps have multiplied. They have blended into a constant shuffling whisper of leather on stone. The streets are now living channels. They are filling with a steady human current. People flow from the tall apartment blocks. They emerge from the gates of grand houses. Each person is a drop of water joining the stream. A magistrate walks with purpose. His clean, white outer garment marks him as a man of importance. He is followed by assistants carrying wooden tablets and scrolls. A craftsman opens his workshop. The sound of a heavy wooden shutter being lifted is followed by the smell of cedar shavings and oil. Children with satchels chase each other through the legs of the crowd. Their laughter is a bright, sharp sound in the growing symphony. At the public fountains, the day's first true conversations begin. Neighbors greet each other while filling heavy clay jugs. The splash of cool water is a constant rhythm. They share news and quiet jokes. Their voices are a low murmur beneath the surface of the morning's noise. The scents of the city are now layered and complex. The simple aroma of bread is now joined by the sharp smell of cheese from a market stall. The fragrance of expensive perfume trails behind a wealthy woman. The earthy scent of livestock comes from a farmer guiding his ox cart through the crowd. This is the city's true awakening. It is a mosaic of purpose. Every person is a tile being laid in the grand pattern of the day. The machine is no longer just turning. It is now humming with power. It is drawing in the fuel of 1,000,000 small ambitions. The day's work has truly begun. The morning has reached its full and thunderous peak. The once quiet trickle of people has become a human torrent. It floods the great public square, the heart of the city. The square is no longer a silent stage. It is a swirling ocean of life. The sun is a hot coin in a sky of perfect blue. It strikes the white stone of the temples. It reflects from the polished bronze of the great doors. The air itself feels heavy. It is thick with the energy of 100,000 lives in motion. The sound is now a physical wall. It is a great wave composed of countless smaller ripples. The sharp cries of vendors slice through the air. They sell glistening fish and pyramids of bright fruit. The rhythmic clang of a distant hammer provides a steady beat. The rumble of iron-rimmed wheels on stone is a constant, low growl. A patrol of soldiers, their armor gleaming, parts the crowd like a ship's prow through water. Their synchronized footsteps are a percussive beat in the day's great song. The deep murmur of conversation has merged into a single, overwhelming roar. It is the sound of the city breathing, speaking, and living all at once. The scents have become a powerful and confusing perfume. The sweet smell of honey cakes from a stall mixes with the sharp, acrid scent of charcoal fires. The earthy fragrance of raw wool from a merchant's cart blends with the smell of saltfish from the market. The city is a vast and complex machine, now operating at its full capacity. Every person is a cog, a wheel, a piston, driving the immense engine of the day forward. But let us turn away from this roaring sea. Let us step through a heavy wooden doorway, leaving the noise of the street behind. Here, inside the walls of a grand house, a different world exists. The air is cool and still. The sound of the city is a distant, muffled roar, like a caged beast. In the central hall, sunlight pours through an opening in the roof. It creates a perfect, bright square on the mosaic floor. The light illuminates a small pool of collected rainwater. The water is still and clear. It reflects the blue sky like a fallen piece of heaven. The sounds here are small and private. The gentle splash of a fountain in a hidden garden. The soft whisper of bare feet on cool tile. A servant moves through the shadows of a colonnade, a silent and graceful phantom. The father of the family stands near the pool. He has finished his morning wash. The water was cold and sharp. It has awakened him completely. A servant drapes a heavy woolen garment over his linen tunic. The fabric is thick and smells faintly of cedar from the chest where it was stored. He breathes in the clean air of his home. It is a mixture of damp earth from the garden, fragrant herbs from a bronze planter, and the sweet smoke of incense offered to the household spirit. He takes a simple morning meal, a piece of bread dipped in wine and oil, a few dark olives, their taste salty and rich. It is a quiet moment of preparation, a time to gather his thoughts before he joins the great, rushing river of the city. He is an island of calm in the center of the storm. He is the quiet center of his own small universe. For a few more moments, he can listen to the gentle heartbeat of his own home before stepping out into the thunderous pulse of the world. He leaves the central hall. He walks along a covered walkway. The marble columns are cool against his passing arm. He moves toward the front of the house, his sandals making soft sounds on the mosaic floor. He passes an open doorway. Inside this room, the lady of the house presides over her own quiet world. She is the calm center of this domestic universe. She sits before a large wooden loom. Her hands, graceful and sure, guide the shuttle back and forth. It creates a soft, hypnotic rhythm. It is a sound of patient creation. The clack of the wood is a gentle counterpoint to the distant roar of the city. Threads the color of wine and the summer sky are stretched taut upon the frame. They hold the memory of the dyes that gave them color. They smell faintly of lanolin and clean earth. Sunlight streams from a high, narrow window. It illuminates the scene in a soft, hazy light. It catches the fine particles of wool floating in the air, turning them into a swirl of tiny golden stars. A young child plays quietly on the floor with wooden blocks. His focus is absolute. He is building his own small, temporary city. The scent of jasmine and roses drifts in from the walled garden. It mingles with the clean smell of the wool and the polished wood of the loom. The father of the family does not stop. His journey is toward the street, but he feels the presence of this room. It is a pocket of deep peace. It is the anchor that holds him to this place. This quiet scene is the reason for his journey into the noisy world beyond the door. It is the harbor he will return to when the day is done. He reaches the great entryway. A servant is waiting. The servant pulls back the heavy bar, and the massive door swings open. The great door opens. It is like opening a furnace. A wall of sound and light rushes in. It floods the cool, quiet entryway. The distant roar he heard from within is now a deafening wave. It washes over him, a physical presence that seems to press against his skin. The soft, filtered light of his home is banished. It is replaced by the brilliant, unfiltered glare of the sun. The world outside is a churning river of color and motion. The father of the family pauses on the threshold for a single heartbeat. He stands between two worlds. Behind him is the quiet scent of jasmine and cedar. It is the smell of order and peace. Before him is the thick, complex perfume of the city. It is 100 different smells colliding in the warm air. The aroma of hot coals from a street vendor. The sharp smell of sweat from the pressing crowd. The earthy scent of animal dung from a passing cart. The heavy fragrance of spices spilling from a market stall. He takes the first step. His sandal leaves the cool, familiar mosaic of his home. It touches the warm, dusty flagstone of the public street. The transition is complete. He is no longer the calm center of his own small world. He is now a single drop in the great roaring river of the city. He pulls his outer garment close. He sets his face toward the public square. He lets the current of the crowd take him. The quiet garden, the clacking loom, the still water in the central hall, all of it feels a world away. They are now memories to be held until the sun begins to set once more. He moves with the crowd now. He is a part of the slow, thick river of bodies. The current guides him. It pulls him along the worn stone channel of the street. The sun is warm on his shoulders. The air is dense with the heat of so many people pressed together. The sounds have blended into a single, continuous thing. It is a warm ocean of noise that surrounds him, made of 1,000 indistinguishable voices. Above this murmur, the high, sharp cry of a fruit seller cuts through the air. The low groan of a heavily laden cart axle protests its burden. He walks past the towering apartment blocks. They are giants of brick and timber. They lean over the street, casting deep pools of shadow. Laundry hangs from their high windows like colorful flags. The smells change with every step. Here, the sharp, clean scent of a fuller's workshop where wool is cleaned with lye. A few feet later, the rich, savory smell of roasting meat from a street kitchen. He feels the unevenness of the paving stones through the thin leather of his sandals. He feels the occasional nudge of a shoulder or an elbow from the people flowing past him. In the crowd, faces turn toward him. He sees a freedman who depends on his support. He sees a tradesman who seeks his business. They are small islands of familiarity in a sea of strangers. He gives a slight, almost imperceptible nod to each one. It is the quiet language of duty and expectation. The narrow street begins to widen. The tall apartment buildings give way to the stone facades of shops and grander homes. Ahead, over the endless bobbing sea of heads, the sky opens up. He can see the marble rooftops of the great public buildings. They gleam with a white fire under the high sun. The roar of the crowd deepens here, at the entrance to the great square. It is the sound of the city's heart, beating with the business of the day. He steps from the throat of the narrow street into the bright, roaring mouth of the public square. The change is sudden and complete. The world expands. The sky, once a thin ribbon above the rooftops, is now a vast open bowl of brilliant blue. The sun beats down with an unfiltered intensity. It turns the marble of the surrounding buildings into cliffs of dazzling white. The space is a valley of stone and sunlight, carved by the hands of giants. The roar of the crowd deepens. It is no longer the channeled sound of a single street. It is the sound of the entire city converging. It echoes from the tall facades of the law courts. It bounces from the wide steps of the great temples. It feels like a physical weight in the air. The crowd itself is different here. It is not a river flowing in one direction. It is a sea swirling in 1,000 eddies. People gather in tight knots around an orator. His voice is a sharp, percussive instrument, rising and falling with passion. They form long, slow-moving lines before the doors of the money changers. The clink and rattle of coins is a constant, metallic song. He feels the vibrations of this place through the stones. It is the city's heart, and the stone is its flesh, pulsing with a deep and steady rhythm. The smells are of power and permanence. The heavy, sweet scent of incense drifts from a temple doorway, a fragrant cloud offering peace. It mixes with the dry, dusty smell of old parchment from the nearby record offices, and beneath it all is the scent of the sun on hot stone, a clean, ancient smell like the world's first morning. He is a part of this now, a single thread in this vast, intricate tapestry. His journey through the crowded street was merely the path. This is the destination. He moves now, not with the current, but through it. His path is deliberate. The swirling sea of people seems to part for him. It is a subtle, unspoken recognition of his station. A space opens before him and closes behind him. He is a stone moving through water, creating a quiet wake. His destination is a group of men gathered on the high steps of a great hall of justice. They are men like him, dressed in fine wool. Their faces are etched with the concerns of property and politics. They are the city's gears, the hidden levers that make the great machine turn. His approach is noted with a slight nod. A hand is raised in greeting. The roar of the square fades into a background hum as he enters their small circle of influence. He exchanges a quiet word with a senator. The senator's face is a mask of tired authority. His voice is a dry rustle, like old leaves. He smells faintly of expensive oils and the dust of the Senate House. Another man joins them, a lawyer with sharp, intelligent eyes. He holds a scroll tied with a red ribbon. The scroll is a map of a dispute, a story of land and boundaries, written in careful black ink. A deal is discussed not in loud pronouncements but in low murmurs. It is a quiet negotiation of power. It is a shifting of weight from one side of a scale to another. He feels the sun warm on the back of his neck. He tastes the dusty air. He sees the city's business being done, not with the clang of hammers, but with the soft whisper of voices. This is the true work of the square. It is a theatre of quiet handshakes and veiled promises. He is an actor on this stage. He plays his part in the slow, ancient drama of influence. He is weaving his own threads into the city's grand and complicated story. The conversation ends with another nod, a silent agreement. The lawyer rolls up his scroll. The senator turns to greet another petitioner. His first task of the morning is complete. He turns from the small circle of men. He steps down from the high, cool stone of the law court steps. He rejoins the great swirling river of humanity. The full sound of the square envelops him again. It is a warm blanket of noise woven from 1,000 different threads. His movement is slow and deliberate. He navigates the open space, a solitary ship on a teeming sea. He walks past a row of shops built into the base of a great public hall. Their dark interiors are caves of commerce. They smell of oiled leather, exotic spices, and dusty clay. Colorful awnings stretch out over their entrances. They create pools of deep, welcome shade on the sun-bleached stones. He glances up at a towering, triumphal arch. Its white marble is a canvas of forgotten battles. Silent stone soldiers charge forever forward. Frozen trumpets sound a call that can no longer be heard. The story is told to the unblinking sun. He passes a public fountain, a masterpiece of bronze and water. Figures of gods and monsters spill endless streams into a wide stone basin. The sound of the falling water is a cool and constant music. It is a sound of life in the heart of the stone city. Pigeons gather at the fountain's edge. They are a soft, fluttering carpet of grey and iridescent green. Their gentle cooing is a soft layer of sound beneath the human roar. A scribe sits at a small wooden table nearby. He is a seller of letters, a merchant of official words. His inkpot is a small well of darkness. His sharpened reed pen is poised, ready to capture a plea or a promise. The sun is now high in the sky. It has burned away the morning's gentleness. The heat radiates from the paving stones. The air shimmers above them, distorting the world like heated glass. He feels the warmth through his sandals. His next destination is across this vast, sun-drenched expanse. The day's business is far from over. His path takes him toward the market section. The air changes here. The clean scent of stone and incense gives way to something more vital and alive. The character of the square shifts. The great solemn marble facades are replaced by a forest of crude wooden stalls. They are shaded by worn canvas awnings patched and stained by sun and rain. He enters this new territory of commerce. The first smell is of the sea. It is carried on the hot, dry air from the fishmonger's stall. Silver-scaled fish are piled high on damp straw. They glisten like treasure pulled from a deep, cold place. Their eyes are dark glass beads, staring at the sun they never knew. Nearby, a butcher works. His heavy cleaver rises and falls with a steady, rhythmic thud. The sound is a dull heartbeat in the market's noisy soul. The air is thick with the metallic scent of fresh meat. Flies, like tiny black jewels, dance in the sunlight above his wooden block. He passes pyramids of fruit, deep purple figs, their skins splitting to show their sweet red hearts. Bunches of green grapes, cool and translucent, like captured light. The air around them is a sweet cloud, a promise of sugar on the tongue. He sees sacks of grain and lentils, their coarse fabric smelling of dust and dry earth. He sees clay jars filled with dark, gleaming olives. He sees cages of chickens, their soft clucking a nervous whisper in the great roar of the crowd. He is an island of silence in this ocean of haggling. The shouted prices and sharp negotiations are a language he observes but does not speak. The people here move with a different energy. It is the energy of sustenance, the urgent business of the day's meal. He feels their purpose as they push past him. He is simply a traveler passing through their world. The market is the city's stomach, loud and hungry. He is just a visitor, on his way to another place. He leaves the market behind him. It is like stepping out of a loud, warm river onto a quieter bank. The shouting voices and the smell of raw life fade. They are replaced by a new set of sensations. He walks down a narrow lane that branches from the main square. Here, the sound is not of voices, but of work. It is the rhythmic, deliberate sound of making. He stops before a wide, open doorway. It is a dark, mouth-breathing heat. From inside comes the steady, ringing song of a hammer striking an anvil. It is a clean, metallic sound, the heartbeat of creation. He steps from the bright sun into the deep shade of the workshop. The air is thick with the smell of hot iron and burning charcoal. It is a sharp, clean, and powerful scent. A great forge glows against the back wall. It is a captured sun, a small, roaring volcano tamed in a cage of bricks. Sparks fly from the smith's hammer. They are a shower of angry, short-lived stars, dying in the gloom. The smith himself is a creature of shadow and firelight. His arms are thick cords of muscle. They gleam with sweat in the furnace glow. He works with a focused grace, his body a part of the rhythm of his tools. The father of the family watches for a moment. He sees the raw iron, glowing orange and pliable, surrender to the smith's will. It is bent and shaped. It is transformed from a simple bar into a thing of purpose. On a nearby table, a finished piece rests. It is a set of ornate hinges for a heavy door. They are shaped like curling ivy leaves. The dark iron is cool to the touch. It is heavy and solid, a testament to the fire that birthed it and the hammer that gave it form. He runs a finger along the smooth, cold metal. He feels the maker's mark, a small, subtle indentation. He gives a nod of approval to the smith. The smith pauses his hammering, wipes his brow, and nods back. The transaction is silent. It is an understanding between two masters. The task is done. He turns and steps back out into the sunlit world, the ghost of the ringing hammer still echoing in his ears. The sun now hangs directly overhead. It is a merciless white eye in the vast blue emptiness of the sky. The city has fallen into a heat-drugged stupor. The morning's frantic energy has evaporated. It has been burned away by the relentless light. The great roar of the square has softened to a low, sleepy hum. The shadows are no longer long and gentle. They are short, dark, and sharp, hiding in the narrow spaces at the feet of columns and walls. The air itself feels thick and heavy. It shimmers over the hot stones. It is like breathing in warm dust. The father of the family turns his back on the square. He begins his journey homeward. He walks with a slower, more measured pace. His path is no longer a straight line through the crowd. It is a winding journey from one patch of shadow to the next. He moves under the cool stone cover of a long colonnade. The columns are a forest of stone, offering a blessed relief from the sun's assault. The crowd here is thinner. People lean against the cool marble. Their conversations are quiet and listless. The sharp cries of vendors have been replaced by the lazy buzzing of insects. The smells of the city have baked in the heat. They are less distinct now, a single sleepy aroma of hot stone, dust, and tired humanity. He feels the oppressive warmth press down on him. He feels a single drop of sweat trace a slow path down his temple. He is part of the city's great midday sigh. The entire world seems to be pausing, holding its breath, waiting for the sun to begin its slow descent. His own home, with its cool, shaded garden and still water, is a powerful memory. It is a promise of rest at the end of this hot, shimmering road. He leaves the cool shelter of the colonnade. He steps back into the full, breathless heat of the sun. He is now in the labyrinth of smaller residential streets. These are the same streets that were noisy, flowing rivers of humanity in the morning. Now they are dry, silent riverbeds. The tall apartment buildings on either side seem to be asleep. Their wooden shutters are closed tight against the glare. They are like 1,000 heavy eyelids shut against the harsh light of the afternoon. The city is dreaming a hot, dusty dream. No children chase each other. No vendors call out their wares. The world has been baked into a profound stillness. He passes a small tavern. Its doorway is a dark square of shadow. Inside, in the cool gloom, a few figures sit silently. They are hunched over their cups of watered wine. The only sound is the quiet scraping of a clay cup on a wooden table. The air that drifts out smells of sour wine and dust. He walks past a doorway where a dog is asleep. It is curled in on itself, a small island of fur in a tiny patch of shade. Its flank rises and falls in a slow, deep rhythm. It does not stir as his shadow passes over it. His own footsteps are the loudest sound in this quiet world. The soft scuff of his leather sandals on the paving stones is a lonely, rhythmic whisper. He feels the heat not just on his skin, but as a weight in the air. He tastes it as dust on his tongue. The world seems reduced to silence and sensation, the brilliant, painful white of a sunlit wall, the deep, cool black of the shadow beside it, the feeling of the heat radiating up from the stones. He turns a corner, and his own street comes into view. The sight is a cool drink of water for his tired eyes. The familiar lines of his own home wait for him. It is a quiet harbor at the end of a long, hot voyage. He reaches the great wooden door of his home. It is a familiar island in the river of the street. The heavy bronze knocker, shaped like a lion's head, is too hot to touch. He does not need it. As if sensing his presence, the door swings inward with a soft groan of wood. A servant, a silent figure in the shadows, has opened the way. He steps across the threshold. The transition is a miracle of sensation. The oppressive hammer of the sun is lifted from his shoulders. The blinding glare of the street is cut away. He has stepped from a furnace into a cool, quiet cave. He is in the entryway, a world of soft, filtered light. The roar of the city, which had faded to a sleepy hum, is now gone completely. It is not just silence, it is a deep and breathing stillness. He can hear the house's own gentle heartbeat, the distant musical splash of the fountain in the inner garden, the whisper of a breeze moving through the covered walkway. The air itself is different. The hot, dusty taste of the city is washed from his mouth. He breathes in the cool, clean scent of damp earth and watered plants. He smells the memory of jasmine flowers that bloomed in the night. He stands for a moment, letting the coolness soak into him. A servant approaches with a clay jug and a silver cup. The water poured into the cup is colder still. He drinks it slowly. It is like swallowing winter. It quenches a thirst he did not know was so deep. The dust of the street feels like a strange, rough coat upon his skin. The business of the square, the faces, the deals, the noise, all of it feels like a fading dream. He has returned to the center of his own world. The heavy door closes behind him with a solid, reassuring thud. The world outside is sealed away. He is home. He hands the empty silver cup back to the silent servant. He moves away from the entrance, walking deeper into the cool heart of the house. The heavy woolen garment he wears, his public skin, now feels like a dead weight. It holds the memory of the sun's heat and the dust of the crowded square. Another servant helps him lift it from his shoulders. The release is a quiet sigh of the body. He is lighter now. He is himself again. He walks past the central hall. The square of sunlight on the floor has moved. It is smaller now and sharper, a perfect golden tile laid by the sun itself. He enters a small chamber, set aside for the afternoon's rest. The wooden shutters are closed. The room is a deep, cool twilight. The air is still and smells of clean linen and lavender. A low couch, piled with soft cushions, waits for him. It is an island of promised oblivion. He lies down. The cushions yield beneath his weight. He feels the day's tension drain from his muscles. It flows out of him and into the cool silence of the room. The house itself seems to hold him. Its thick stone walls are a fortress against the white fire of the afternoon. The memories of the morning begin to dissolve. The senator's dry voice, the ringing of the blacksmith's hammer, the sea of faces in the square. They become thin ghosts fading into the pleasant darkness behind his closed eyes. He is floating in a quiet, tideless sea. He is sinking slowly into the deep, dreamless well of the afternoon sleep. The world outside can wait. For now, there is only the slow rhythm of his own breathing and the profound, healing silence of his home. His breathing finds its rhythm. It is a slow and steady tide, rising and falling in the quiet room. The last remnants of the morning, the noise and the heat, dissolve like salt in water. He has drifted away on the deep, calm ocean of afternoon sleep, and he is not alone on this silent voyage. Across the city, a million others have also surrendered. The great, roaring beast of the morning has finally been tamed by the white-hot sun. In the grand houses on the hills, masters and servants have retreated to the cool twilight of shuttered rooms. In the towering apartment blocks, families lie in the close darkness, their breathing a soft, collective sigh. The city itself has closed its eyes. The streets, which were once arteries of commerce, are now empty and still. The sun beats down on the silent stones. The air shimmers above them, a glassy curtain of heat. The only movement is the slow, imperceptible crawl of a shadow, a dark finger tracing the sun's westward journey. The roar of the public square is a ghost. It is a memory held in the heated air. The only sound is the lazy buzz of a fly, a tiny, drowsy engine in the vast sleeping machine. This quiet is different from the silence before the dawn. That was a silence born of darkness, cold, and full of unseen promise. This is a silence born of light, heavy and thick with heat. It is the silence of a great, shared pause. The city is taking a single, slow breath. It is resting its stone heart. It is gathering its strength for the second act, for the time when the shadows grow long again and the world begins to stir once more from its hot, white dream. The great white eye of the sun has begun its slow descent. It is no longer a tyrant hanging directly overhead. It has moved westward, and its light is no longer a harsh, bleaching fire. It is a gentler thing now, a warm golden oil poured across the sleeping city. The bleached white of the marble temples softens to the color of old honey. The terracotta roofs glow with a deep, peaceful warmth. The shadows, which had been small, frightened things cowering at the feet of walls, have grown bold again. They stretch like waking cats. They creep out from under doorways and awnings. They are long, cool fingers of darkness, reaching across the sun-warmed stones of the empty squares. The oppressive heat of midday begins to break. The air loses its heavy, suffocating thickness. A small breeze, the first in many hours, is born somewhere on the distant, glittering sea. It finds its way through the maze of quiet streets. It is a cool, gentle breath against the hot cheek of a stone building. It whispers through the leaves of a solitary tree, a soft, rustling sound in the profound quiet. The spell of the afternoon sleep is thinning. From a high window, a single wooden shutter is pushed open. Its groan is a loud and lonely sound in the stillness. A child's voice, clear and thin, calls out from a hidden courtyard. The sound is quickly hushed, but it has already torn a small hole in the fabric of the silence. The city is stirring. It is not yet awake, but the deep, dreamless slumber is over. The great shared pause is coming to an end. A new kind of quiet settles over the streets. It is not the heavy silence of sleep, but the quiet of waking. It is a silence that listens and waits, and now the waking spreads. It is a slow, quiet contagion. One open shutter inspires another. A soft, yellow lamplight appears in one dark window, and is soon answered by a second, then a third. The city is lighting up from within, a constellation of small, private stars being born in the twilight. The first people emerge from their cool, dark homes. They step out into the long shadows and the soft, golden air. Their movements are slow. They are still draped in the heavy cloak of their afternoon sleep. A shopkeeper unbolts his door. The sound of the heavy wooden bar being lifted is a low, resonant thud. He sprinkles water from a clay jug onto the dusty stones before his entrance. The water sizzles for a moment, releasing a clean, earthy smell into the air. A woman appears on a high balcony. She tends to her pots of herbs, her hands moving with a languid grace in the warm light. The sounds begin to layer and weave together. The lone cry of a child is now a scattered chorus of distant voices. The soft murmur of conversation drifts from an open doorway. The clink of pottery comes from a kitchen where the evening meal is being prepared. It is not the roar of the morning. It is a gentler sound, a city quietly clearing its throat. The breeze, bolder now, carries a new collection of scents. The sharp fragrance of fresh mint from the woman's balcony. The first hint of garlic and olive oil being warmed in a pan. The smell of wood smoke, no longer from the hot fires of a forge, but from the gentler flames of a household hearth. The streets are no longer empty. They are populated by lengthening shadows and slow-moving figures. The great sleeping machine has been roused. Its gears are turning once more, but with the slow, deliberate rhythm of the coming evening. In the cool, quiet room, the father of the family stirs. Sleep loosens its grip slowly, like a hand gently uncurling. He is not startled awake. He is drawn back to the world by a subtle change in the light. The deep twilight of the shuttered room is now striped with long, brilliant bars of gold. The afternoon sun, low and warm, has found the cracks in the shutters. It lays its treasure across the cool stone floor. The dust motes, invisible just an hour before, now dance in these bright columns, a silent, swirling cosmos. The silence of the house has softened. He can hear the city coming back to life. It is not the demanding roar of the morning. It is a distant, gentle murmur, the sound of a faraway sea. He sits up. The cushions on the couch sigh softly around him. He listens to the sounds of his own home. The musical splash of the fountain in the garden seems clearer, its rhythm more deliberate. The soft scrape of a clay pot being moved in the kitchen. The house itself is waking from its slumber. A servant enters, a shadow in the doorway. He brings a basin of cool water scented with lavender. The man bathes his face. The water is a gentle shock, washing away the last warm clouds of sleep. He dons a fresh linen tunic. Its clean, smooth texture is a promise of the evening to come. He eats a few dark purple grapes. Their cool sweetness bursts in his mouth, the very taste of the golden afternoon. The day has been reborn. The morning's business is a finished chapter. The evening waits, a clean page ready to be written upon. He is ready to greet it. He leaves the twilight of the resting chamber. He steps out into a world bathed in soft, liquid gold. He walks along the covered passageway, his bare feet cool on the mosaic tiles. The columns on his right are no longer just stone. They are pillars of warm light on one side and deep, cool shadow on the other. He moves toward an open archway at the back of the house. Through it, he sees the walled garden, a secret world waking in the evening light. He enters this small paradise. The air is immediately different. It is cooler, and it tastes of damp earth and the sweet perfume of night-blooming jasmine. The sun, low in the sky, sends long, gentle rays through the leaves of a fig tree. The light dapples the stone path, making it a shifting mosaic of gold and green. A small fountain stands in the center. Its quiet splashing is the garden's gentle heartbeat. The water catches the evening light, shimmering like 1,000 tiny broken mirrors. The lady of the house is here. She sits on a stone bench, her face softened by the warm light. The intricate weaving on the loom is forgotten for now. She is simply watching the day end. The small child is there too, no longer playing with blocks, but chasing the long shadows on the grass. His quiet laughter is like the sound of small, clear bells. The father of the family does not speak. He does not need to. He simply stands in the archway, breathing in the profound peace of this place. The noisy, sun-scorched city of the morning is a distant, half-forgotten memory. This is his world, a small, perfect kingdom of cool stone, fragrant flowers, and quiet love. The day has been put to rest. The evening has begun. The sun dips lower, a great orange coin slipping behind the rooftops of the distant city. The golden light in the garden deepens, turning the leaves to bronze and the stone bench to amber. The air cools, carrying with it the first true chill of the coming night. A servant appears in the archway, a silent silhouette against the glowing house. He does not speak, but his presence is a quiet announcement. The time for rest in the garden is over. The family rises. The father of the family takes his son's small hand. They leave the garden's perfumed air behind. They walk back into the house, which has been transformed once more. The sunlight is gone. In its place, dozens of small clay lamps have been lit. They burn with a soft, steady glow, like captured fireflies. Their warm light pools on the mosaic floors. It makes the shadows long and deep. The house is a cave of warm, living darkness and gentle light. They enter the dining room. 3 long couches are arranged around a low, wooden table. The table is polished until it gleams, reflecting the flickering lamplight like dark water. On the far wall, a painted fresco shows a scene of rolling hills and cypress trees, a permanent, dreamlike countryside within the stone walls. The air is rich with the smells of the evening meal, the scent of roasted chicken seasoned with rosemary, the warm, comforting aroma of freshly baked bread, the clean, slightly bitter smell of the burning olive oil in the lamps. Servants move with a quiet efficiency. They bring in the platters of food. They fill goblets with dark, watered wine. The family reclines on the soft cushions, each finding their place. The day, with all its noise and heat and business, is finally complete. The world has been shrunk down to this single, warm room. It is a world of quiet conversation and shared bread. The meal begins in quiet ritual. The father of the family takes a piece of warm bread. He tears it with a soft, rustling sound. He dips the rough bread into a small bowl of green gold olive oil. The oil clings to the bread, a liquid jewel. He eats. The flavors are simple and profound, the sharp, earthy taste of the oil, the honest flavor of the wheat. The conversation flows like a quiet stream. It is not the sharp, purposeful talk of the public square. It is a gentle murmur, the sharing of small histories from a day spent apart. The lady of the house speaks of a new pattern she has imagined for her loom. The child, his voice soft with approaching sleep, tells a story about a lizard he saw in the garden. The father listens. He shares a small piece of his own day, but the telling transforms it. The noisy market and the hot forge become a distant story, its sharp edges worn smooth by the safety of home. The family eats the roasted chicken. The meat is tender, the skin is crisp with salt and the pine-like scent of rosemary. The dark wine in their cups is cool on the tongue. It holds the memory of the sun and the soil. The flickering lamplight works its own magic. It makes the painted figures on the walls seem to tremble on the edge of life. It deepens the shadows in the corners, turning them into soft, velvet caves. The world outside has ceased to exist. There is no city. There is no senate. There is no empire. There is only this table. There is only the taste of food and wine. There is only the gentle sound of loved voices. The meal is a slow and peaceful ceremony. It is the gathering of scattered pieces. It is the restoration of a quiet harmony before the final stillness of the night. The meal is over, the last piece of fruit has been eaten, the last drop of wine has been drunk from the silver cups. The child, his small body heavy with food and the day's long journey, has fallen asleep. His head rests on his mother's shoulder. His breathing is a soft and steady whisper in the quiet room. Sleep has come for him, a gentle tide pulling him out to a dark, peaceful sea. The mother rises. She carries her son from the room, a precious, slumbering weight in her arms. She disappears into the deeper shadows of the house, taking the boy to his bed. The father watches them go. He remains on the couch, listening to the house prepare for the night. Servants, moving like silent phantoms in the lamplight, begin to clear the table. The sound is hushed and respectful. The soft clink of a platter, the quiet scrape of a wooden bowl. The sounds are small islands of noise in an ocean of growing silence. Then the lamps are put out, one by one. A servant pinches a wick. The flame sputters for a moment, a tiny, dying star. It vanishes with a soft pop and a thin curl of smoke. The smoke hangs in the air for a moment, a sharp, clean scent that is the very smell of an ending. Darkness rushes in to fill the space where the light was. The house is returning to its natural state of night. The painted hills and trees on the wall vanish. The polished table becomes a void. He is left alone in the warm, living dark, the memory of his family a gentle warmth inside him. The day has been folded up and put away. The story is over. He rises from the couch. He is a shadow moving within the deeper shadows of the room. He walks out of the dining chamber, his bare feet making no sound on the cool, dark tiles. The house is a vessel of profound quiet. He passes through the central hall. Through the opening in the roof he can see the night sky. It is a swatch of deep indigo velvet, embroidered with the cold, distant fire of the stars. The moon is a perfect, polished sliver. It sends a single, unwavering beam of pale light down into the heart of the house. The light strikes the small pool of water. In the morning, this pool was a captured piece of blue sky. Now it is a disk of liquid moonlight, a silent silver eye staring back at the heavens. The air that drifts down is cool and clean. It carries the scent of the night itself. It smells of damp earth from the garden and the sweet, heavy perfume of jasmine flowers that have opened only for the darkness. He enters his bedchamber. The wooden shutters have been thrown open. A pale, ghostly rectangle of moonlight lies upon the floor. The lady of the house is already in bed. She is turned away from the light, a still form under a linen sheet. Her breathing is a soft, slow and steady rhythm. It is the only sound in the room. It is the quiet anchor that holds the house to the night. He slips out of his tunic and lays it over a chair. He gets into the bed. The linen sheets are cool against his tired skin. The darkness of the room is a soft, comforting blanket. He closes his eyes. The day, with its heat and its noise and its thousand small duties, is a story that has been told. It dissolves. It becomes a dream that is already half forgotten. There is only the gentle sound of his wife's breathing and the cool, clean scent of the night air. He lets go, he drifts out upon the deep, calm and starless sea of sleep. The day is done, and so the house sleeps. It is a ship sailing on a dark and silent sea. Every room is a quiet cabin holding the soft, rhythmic breathing of its passengers. The moonlight drifts across the mosaic floors, a slow, pale river. It touches the face of a sleeping child, the hand of a dreaming woman, the still form of the father of the family. The house has given itself over to the night. Outside, the city has followed. The street, once a channel of human life, is now an empty canyon carved from moonlight and shadow. The towering apartment buildings are silent cliffs, their windows dark and vacant. The gentle hum of the evening has faded completely. The last lamp in the last tavern has been extinguished. The last conversation has dissolved into the cool night air. The silence deepens. It fills the narrow alleys. It pools in the great, empty squares. The public square, the city's roaring heart, is now still. The moonlight washes over the great marble buildings, making them seem like the bones of some great sleeping beast. The bronze doors of the temples are cold. The statues of forgotten heroes stare with stone eyes at the cold, distant stars. A cool wind, born in the distant hills, whispers through the empty colonnades. It is the only sound. It is the slow, deep breath of the sleeping world. The day is a memory. The great machine is still. The city dreams a deep, silent dream of stone and starlight, waiting for the first faint promise of the dawn. The great cycle is now complete. The day has returned to the silence from which it was born. The morning began as a whisper. It grew into a thunderous roar. It softened into a sleepy hum. Now it has faded into nothing at all. The city is a vast and intricate machine that has finally been switched off. Its gears have stopped turning. Its fires have grown cold. Its thousand voices have been stilled. The city is a fossil of itself, perfectly preserved in the cool, clear amber of the night. Every person has drifted away. They have sailed from the shore of the waking world. They have set out upon the dark, tideless ocean of their own private dreams. The father of the family, the lady of the house, the senator and the smith, the baker and the child, all are now equal travellers in the silent lands of sleep. Far beyond the city's sleeping walls, the same moon casts its pale, ghostly light. It shines upon the stone roads that stretch for 1,000 miles, empty and silent. It gleams on the armour of legionaries in a distant camp, their dreams filled with the memories of home. It touches the still sails of a grain ship, motionless on a black, glassy sea. The entire world seems to be holding its breath. It is a single vast house, its lamps extinguished, its doors bolted. There is nothing left to do, there is nothing more to see. There is nothing more to say. The story of this one day, with all its light and heat and noise, has been told. Now there is only the slow, silent turning of the earth. There is only the cold, distant fire of the stars. And there is the deep, profound and healing stillness. The great and final quiet. The quiet that waits for the first hint of dawn. But for now there is only sleep. But the city is not the entire world. Let us leave its silent stone heart. Let us travel on a river of moonlight out beyond the great walls. We drift over the long, empty roads. We float over the silent aqueducts, those sleeping stone serpents. We arrive in the countryside where a different kind of quiet reigns. Here the silence is not made of stone. It is woven from living things. It is the deep, breathing quiet of the earth itself. The hills are great, slumbering beasts, their backs covered in a soft fur of wild grass and olive trees. The moon casts a pale silver light upon their sleeping forms. In the valleys between them, fields of wheat are motionless seas of silver. The rows of grapevines are disciplined armies, asleep at their posts. The night air is cool and heavy. It smells of damp soil and crushed mint. It carries the sweet, wild perfume of honeysuckle from a tangled hedge. It holds the faint, earthy promise of the harvest to come. The only sounds are the whispers of the land. A gentle breeze, born in some far-off mountain pass, sighs through the leaves of an ancient oak tree. The soft, rhythmic chirping of a cricket is a tiny, persistent heartbeat in the vast quiet. The distant, lonely call of an owl is a question asked to the silent, watching stars. A stone farmhouse rests in the fold of a hill. It is not a grand house of marble and mosaic. It is a simple creature of stone and timber and clay tile. It seems to have grown from the earth itself. Its walls are cool under the moon's gaze. Its windows are dark, vacant eyes. Inside, a family sleeps. The farmer and his wife, their children and their servants. Their dreams are not of politics and commerce. Their dreams are of rain and sun and the turning of the seasons. This is the other lung of the empire. This is the quiet, fertile land that gives the city its bread and its wine. And here, too, the world waits. It holds its breath in the deep, dark hour before the dawn, listening for the first stirrings of a new day. The change comes here, too. It arrives not with a sound, but with a slow bleaching of the dark. The deep, star-dusted black of the eastern sky softens. It turns the color of a pale lilac like a bruise healing on the edge of the world. The last stars surrender their cold fire. They dissolve one by one like flecks of salt in the growing light. The moon, a thin silver sickle, grows faint. It becomes a ghost of itself, a chalky memory on a lightening sky. This new light is a shy visitor. It touches the very peaks of the hills first, tracing their sleeping spines in a line of soft, grey fire. It spills down their slopes like a slow, silent waterfall of milk. It pools in the valleys, chasing the last of the long shadows back into the woods. The fields of wheat, which were silver seas under the moon, now catch this new light. They turn a pale, dusty gold. The dew on every blade of grass is a tiny, perfect diamond, each one holding a captured piece of the coming dawn. The air is cool and wet on the tongue. It tastes of damp stone and the deep, clean scent of growing things. Then comes the first sound. It is not the sharp, demanding cry of a city rooster. It is the soft, lowing call of an ox from inside the stone barn. The sound is deep and patient, a gentle rumble that seems to come from the belly of the quiet land itself. It is answered by the quiet rustle of straw as other animals begin to stir in their warm darkness. A faint, warm and earthy smell drifts from the barn's half-open door. It is the scent of hay and sleeping animals, a smell as old as the earth itself. And then a human sign. Inside the farmhouse, a single wooden shutter creaks open. It is a sleepy eye opening to the new day. A wisp of smoke, thin and grey, begins to rise from the stone chimney. It is a fragile thread sent up to stitch the sleeping house to the waking sky. The land is waking up. It is not the sudden start of a great machine. It is the slow, gentle stretching of a single, living creature. The silence is broken, but the peace remains. Inside the stone shell of the farmhouse, a man climbs slowly from the deep, dark well of his sleep. The room is a single space, filled with the soft, rhythmic breathing of his children, who are still lost in their own small dreams. The air is cool and smells of wood smoke and sleeping bodies. It is the familiar perfume of his life. His wife is already moving in the gloom. She is a shadow tending to another shadow. She kneels at the central hearth. A small pile of twigs and dried leaves whispers into life. The first spark is a tiny, brave insect of fire, then another. Then the twigs catch, and a small flame yawns and stretches. It is a new sun born just for this room. It pushes the darkness back into the corners. It paints flickering orange light on the rough stone walls and the low, beamed ceiling. The man rises from his bed of straw and wool. The packed earth floor is cold and hard beneath his bare feet. The chill is a sharp, clean reminder that the day has begun. He goes to a clay basin and splashes his face with water. The water is cold enough to steal his breath. It is the cold of the deep well from which it was drawn. It washes the last of the sleep from his eyes. He pulls on his tunic. The wool is coarse and heavy against his skin. It smells of the fields and the sheep from which it came. His morning meal is a thick porridge warm from the new fire. It has the simple, honest taste of cooked grain. It is not a pleasure. It is fuel. It is the strength he will need for the long day's work. He finishes. He stands, he walks to the heavy wooden door. Outside, the world of green and gold and earth is waiting for him. He lifts the heavy wooden bar from the door. The wood is cool and smooth under his calloused hands. The door swings inward with a low groan, a sleepy complaint against the new day, and the world rushes in. The warm, smoky air of the house is washed away by a flood of cool, clean light. The air that fills the doorway tastes of wet grass and damp earth. It is a clean cloth against his face. He stands for a moment on the threshold, a man caught between two worlds. Behind him is the dark, sleeping room. Before him the world is on fire. The sun itself has broken free of the distant hills. It is a great, bleeding wound of gold and orange on the horizon. Its light is no longer a gentle wash. It is a torrent of liquid gold pouring across the land. The fields of wheat are transformed from pale ghosts into oceans of fire. The olive trees on the hills are etched in black against the brilliant sky. Every drop of dew on every spider's web is a tiny, burning sun. The sounds are sharp and clear in the cool air. The lowing of the ox from the barn is joined by the nervous bleating of sheep. A rooster, finally roused, lets out a single piercing cry that tears the morning's quiet fabric. He takes a step. His bare feet leave the hard-packed earth of his home. They press into the cool, damp soil of the world outside. The ground yields slightly beneath his weight. He feels the day's work waiting for him in the very texture of the land. He is no longer just a man. He is a farmer. His purpose is written in the rows of grapevines and the fields of grain. He walks toward the barn, his breath a small white ghost in the morning air. The day's slow, ancient dance has begun. He reaches the great wooden door of the barn. It is a beast of a door, weathered by 100 years of sun and rain. He pulls it open. The wood complains with a deep, long groan, a sound as old as the farmhouse itself. He steps from the bright morning into a warm, living darkness. The air inside is thick and close. It is a cathedral built of smells, the sweet, dusty scent of old hay, the sharp ammoniac tang of manure, the warm animal smell of breath and bodies. It is the perfume of the earth's engine room, shafts of golden light stabbed down from cracks in the tiled roof. They are solid pillars of light holding up the darkness. In them, a universe of dust motes and tiny pieces of straw dance a slow, silent ballet. He walks deeper into the gloom. His feet sink into the thick carpet of straw with a soft, rustling sigh. The animals stir as he approaches. They are dark shapes in the shadows. He sees the glint of a wet eye. He hears the soft thump of a hoof on the earth floor. The great ox lifts its massive head. Its breath is a white cloud in the cool air. The farmer murmurs a low word. It is not a command, it is a greeting, a quiet conversation between partners in the day's labor. He runs his hand along the animal's powerful flank. The hide is coarse and warm, a living map of muscle and bone. He moves to the wall where the yoke hangs. It is a heavy, curved piece of wood, polished smooth by years of use. It smells of wood and sweat and the animal it belongs to. He lifts it from its pegs. It is a familiar and comfortable weight in his hands. He carries it to the waiting ox. The animal lowers its head in slow, patient acceptance. The day's first task is at hand. The slow work of turning the earth is about to begin. He settles the heavy yoke onto the ox's shoulders. The curved wood lands with a soft, dull thud, a sound of perfect fit. It is a piece of the animal's own body, worn smooth and dark by 1,000 days of patient labor. The farmer fastens the leather straps. His fingers move with a slow and certain grace, a muscle memory passed down through generations. He gives the animal a gentle pat on its broad, warm neck. Then he leads the beast out of the barn's deep twilight. They step into the full glory of the morning. The sun has climbed higher, a clean, white fire in the pale blue sky. It has burned the orange and gold from the world. The dew still clings to the grass, a carpet of tiny, cold jewels. The air is so clear it seems to ring like a bell. Waiting in the field is the plough. It rests where it was left the day before. It is a simple tool of wood and iron, a sleeping insect of purpose. It smells of the earth it will soon turn. He guides the ox into position. The leather harnesses creak softly. A single iron pin clinks as he fastens the animal to its work. The farmer takes his place. He grips the two handles of the plough. The wood is worn as smooth as riverstone. He can feel the faint warmth of his own hands and the ghost of his father's hands and the hands of all the men who came before him. He stands there for a single, quiet heartbeat. He is a man facing his life's work. The field stretches before him, a vast, dark canvas waiting for his brush. He speaks a single, low word. The ox leans into the yoke. Its muscles bunch, a slow wave of power. The iron tip of the plough dips down. It bites into the rich, dark soil. The first clean line is drawn across the earth. The slow, rhythmic work of the day has truly begun. The earth gives way with a long, soft sigh. It is the sound of a deep sleep being broken. The dark soil, rich and cool and damp, curls away from the iron ploughshare. It falls to the side in a continuous whispering wave. It is a river of dark velvet flowing slowly beside the man and his beast. This is the only music now, the soft shearing of the earth, the rhythmic creak of the leather harness, the heavy, measured breathing of the ox, a great, warm bellows pumping in the cool morning air, and the quiet, steady shuffle of two pairs of feet, one shod in leather, the other in horn, both moving as one. The farmer feels the life of the field through the wooden handles of the plough. He feels its hidden stones and its soft, yielding places. He feels the pull of the great animal before him. He is no longer just a man holding a tool. He and the ox and the plough have become a single creature, a slow, patient insect drawing a single straight line across the face of the world. The smell of the turned earth rises up to meet him. It is the oldest and cleanest smell in the world. It is the smell of life and decay, of winter's rest and spring's promise. It fills his lungs. It is the smell of his own life's purpose. The sun climbs higher, a warm hand on the back of his neck. The field is a great, dark page. He is writing the first sentence of a long and simple story. A story that is told not in words, but in the straight, dark lines of the furrows. The work is slow. It is a meditation. Each step is the same as the last. Each breath is a copy of the one before it. There is no thought of the city. There is no memory of anything but this. There is only the patient ox, the whispering plough, and the endless, silent field surrendering its dark heart to the morning sun. The sun climbs its invisible ladder in the sky. It is no longer a gentle friend. It is the day's great, warm heart beating steadily. The last of the dew vanishes from the tips of the grass. It rises in a shimmering haze, the earth breathing its cool morning moisture back into the air. The field, which was a dark, damp velvet, now dries to a lighter shade of brown. The farmer feels the sun's warmth on his shoulders. It is a comforting weight. The wooden handles of the plough are no longer cool. They are warm from the sun and the steady grip of his hands. He and the tool have become one. Back at the farmhouse, the day's other chores have begun. He can hear the distant, rhythmic thump of his wife beating laundry against a smooth river stone. The sound is a quiet drumbeat for his own slow work. His children's voices, thin and clear as birdsong, drift on the air as they scatter grain for the chickens. He is a solitary island, but he is not alone. He is the anchor for his small family, and they are his harbour. He reaches the end of a furrow. The ox stops without a command. The beast knows the slow and ancient music of this work. It stands patiently, its great sides rising and falling. The farmer looks back at the line he has drawn. It is a single, perfect wound in the skin of the earth. It is a beautiful, dark scar. It is a promise of life. He turns the ox, he sets the iron ploughshare. He begins again, drawing another dark thread across the sun-warmed loom of the world. The day is still new. The work is long, but it is a good and simple thing. The sun has climbed to the top of the sky. It is no longer a warm hand, but a hot weight. It presses down on the land, baking the turned soil. The air shimmers above the new furrows. The distant hills are pale, hazy shapes, dissolved in the white heat. At the edge of the field, the farmer stops. The ox stands motionless, its great head bowed. Steam rises from its broad, dark back. They have earned a rest. The farmer unhooks the heavy plough and leads the animal to the shade of a lone olive tree. The shade is a small, cool blessing, a blue island in a sea of glaring light. His wife appears from the farmhouse. She walks slowly, carrying a cloth bundle and a clay jug. She brings him his midday meal. It is a simple thing, a piece of hard, salty cheese, a thick slice of dark bread, a handful of olives, their taste rich and bitter. He eats slowly. He drinks the water from the jug. It is cool and tastes of stone and earth. He sits with his back against the twisted trunk of the old tree. The wood is warm and rough against his tunic. He listens to the sound of the afternoon. It is the dry, electric hum of cicadas. It is the buzzing of a bee exploring a purple thistle. It is the sound of the world breathing in the heat. There is no negotiation here. There is no business. There is only the simple, profound reality of food and shade. The pause is short. The day is long. He stands up, his muscles aching with a familiar fire. He leads the ox back into the sun. The plough bites into the earth once more. The slow, silent conversation with the land begins again. The afternoon wears on, a slow, hot, and endless river. The sun begins its long, gentle slide toward the western hills. The light changes. The harsh, white glare of noon softens into a thick, golden honey. It pours across the field, filling the new furrows with liquid shadow. The farmer's own shadow, which had been a small, dark puddle at his feet, now stretches out before him. It is a long, thin giant striding across the dark, wounded earth. He and his shadow have become two separate beings, both tired from the day's long journey. He feels the day's labor settle deep into his bones. It is not a sharp pain. It is a dull, heavy ache, as familiar and comfortable as the weight of his own skin. He can feel the same weariness in the beast before him. The ox's steps are slower. Its great, patient head hangs a little lower. Its breath comes in long, slow sighs, but still they move forward, one more line and then one more. They are finishing the story they began in the cool of the morning. The final furrow is ploughed, the last line is drawn. The farmer stops, the ox stops, the plough falls silent. For a moment, there is only the sound of two creatures breathing in the golden light. He looks back at his work. The field is a beautiful, ordered thing, a tapestry of dark brown earth and deep purple shadow. It is a testament to the slow, steady rhythm of a single day. He unhooks the weary animal. He leads it back toward the barn, its work now done. The air is cooling. The scent of the hot dust is giving way to the smell of the coming night, a fragrance of damp grass and cooling stone. The cicadas have fallen silent. In the distance, a bird sings a single, clear evening song. The day's great labor is finished. The promise of rest hangs in the soft golden air. He leads the tired ox across the cooling earth. Their shadows are long, slow-moving rivers of darkness, flowing ahead of them toward the barn. The sun has bled its last fire onto the western hills, leaving the sky a deep, bruised purple. The air itself has changed. It is soft and cool and smells of night. They reach the barn. It is a great, silent creature of stone and wood, its wide door a mouth closed in shadow. He pulls it open. The wood gives a low, tired groan, a sound of welcome and finality. They step from the twilight of the world into the deeper twilight of the barn. The air inside is warm and thick. It is a rich and comforting perfume, woven from the sweet dust of old hay and the earthy scent of the animals who live here. He reaches up and lifts the heavy yoke from the ox's shoulders. It is the day's final, silent ritual. The wood is warm and smooth in his hands, still holding the memory of the long day's heat and labor. The great beast shudders, a deep sigh of muscle and bone. It is released. He guides the animal to a stone trough filled with cool, clear water. The sound of the ox drinking is a deep, satisfying gurgle, loud in the growing silence. He fills its manger with a generous armful of dry, fragrant hay. The sound of the animal pulling at the hay, the soft rustle and crunch, is the barn's gentle evening song. He gives the beast a final, lingering pat on its warm, coarse hide. The partnership is over. The debt of the day is paid. He turns and leaves the animal to its well-earned rest. He pulls the great door shut. The final groan of the wood seals the day's work away. Across the small yard, a single warm yellow light has bloomed in the window of the farmhouse. It is a tiny man-made star, a promise of food and rest. He turns his back on the silent barn. He walks toward the farmhouse. The single point of yellow light in the window is a lighthouse guiding him home. It is a small, warm sun in a world that is quickly growing cold and dark. He crosses the yard. The earth is cool and soft beneath his tired feet. He feels the day's heat leaving the ground, rising up to meet the first stars that are now pricking the deep velvet of the sky. The smells of his work, the sweat and the hay and the warm animal scent fall away from him. They are washed clean by the cool evening air. A new collection of smells greets him now, the sharp, clean scent of wood smoke from the chimney, the rich, savory aroma of lentils and onions simmering over the fire. It is the smell of home. It is the smell of the day's reward. The ache in his back and shoulders is a deep, familiar river. It has settled into its usual channels. He does not fight it. He accepts it as the price of the ploughed field. It is the body's own memory of a day well spent. He reaches the door. It is made of thick, heavy planks of wood, worn smooth by the hands of his father and his father's father. He does not knock. He lifts the simple iron latch. The click is a small, sharp sound in the great quiet of the evening. It is the sound of a key turning in a lock. It is the sound that separates the world of work from the world of rest. He pushes the door open. A wave of warm, savory air washes over him. A wave of golden light floods the darkness at his feet. He has arrived. He closes the door behind him. The sound is a soft, final thud. It shuts out the cool night air and the deep, silent darkness of the fields. The room he enters is a small, warm cave of light and savory smells. The fire in the hearth is the living heart of the house. It breathes a soft, crackling sigh. It paints the rough stone walls and the low-beamed ceiling with a flickering golden light. It pushes the shadows back into the corners where they sleep like tired animals. His wife turns from the hearth. Her face is soft in the warm glow. A quiet smile touches her lips. His children, sitting on the packed earth floor, look up from their game of knuckle bones. Their faces are small, bright moons in the firelight. He is home. The world has shrunk to the size of this single, warm room. His wife comes to him. She carries a wooden basin filled with water. Steam rises from it in a thin, ghostly veil. She sets it on a low stool. He kneels. He plunges his hands into the warm water. The shock is a pure and simple pleasure. He washes the day's honest dirt from his skin. He washes away the dust of the field and the memory of the plow's heavy handles. The water runs brown in the basin. He splashes his face, the warmth soaking into his tired skin. It is a quiet ritual of cleansing. He is washing away the farmer. He is becoming the husband and the father again. He rises. His wife hands him a piece of rough, clean linen to dry his face. The fabric smells of sun and wind. He feels the great, heavy weight of the long day begin to lift. It does not disappear. It simply settles into a softer, more distant ache. The business of the field is done. The business of the family is about to begin. They eat now. They do not sit at a polished table. They gather on the floor, close to the hearth's warm heart. They are a small island of humanity in the vast, dark ocean of the night. His wife ladles a thick, steaming stew into rough wooden bowls. The bowls are warm in their hands, worn smooth by 100 other meals. The stew smells of lentils and garlic, and the wild herbs that grow on the hillsides. It is a simple, honest smell. It is the smell of the earth warmed by the fire. They eat with wooden spoons. The only sound is the soft scrape of wood against wood, and the quiet, satisfied sounds of hunger being met. A piece of dark, heavy bread is passed around. It is torn, not cut. The crust is hard and tastes of smoke. The inside is dense and moist. It is the taste of the ploughed field, transformed by fire and water. The conversation is a low murmur, a sound as comforting as the crackling of the logs. It is not about deals or debts. It is about the small events of the day. A child tells of a hawk he saw circling in the blue sky. His wife speaks of a hen that has finally started to lay. The farmer says little. He just listens. He eats. The warmth of the food spreads through his tired limbs. It is a slow, creeping tide of comfort. It chases the last of the day's deep chill from his bones. The firelight flickers on their faces. It turns their humble room into a golden palace. It makes the world outside with its silent waiting fields disappear completely. This meal is the day's true harvest. The last wooden spoon is laid to rest. The bowls are empty. The simple, honest meal is finished. It has become a warm, heavy feeling in their bellies. It is a pleasant anchor holding them to the earth. The fire in the hearth sighs. Its bright, dancing flames have grown tired. The logs settle with a soft, whispering crash. They become a bed of glowing embers. The embers are a treasure of sleeping jewels, pulsing with a deep, drowsy red light. The golden palace of the room shrinks. The shadows in the corners creep out. They are soft, dark animals reclaiming their territory. Sleep, which was a distant country, is now very near. It is a slow, warm tide, lapping at the shores of their small island of wakefulness. The children are the first to be carried away. The youngest boy's head, heavy as a stone, comes to rest on his mother's lap. His small body goes limp. His breathing becomes a soft, steady rhythm. The older child, a little girl, fights for a moment. Her eyelids flutter like the wings of a captured moth. Then she too surrenders. She curls into a small ball, a sleeping fox warmed by the dying fire. The farmer watches them. He sees the day's long story come to its final, quiet conclusion. He feels the profound rightness of this moment. The hard work of the field has been transformed into this. It has become the warmth of the fire. It has become the food in their bellies. It has become the deep, innocent sleep of his children. His wife rises. Her movement is a slow and careful dance in the dying firelight. She gathers the sleeping children one at a time into her arms. They are small, warm sacks of grain, heavy with innocence. She carries them away from the fire's fading glow, a mothership taking its precious cargo to the safe harbor of their beds. She disappears into the deeper darkness of the house, leaving him alone. The farmer is now the last waking soul in his small stone kingdom. He is the keeper of the embers. He sits before the hearth, a silent king on a humble stool. The world has shrunk to this one small circle of warmth. The fire is no longer a loud, crackling story. It is a soft, pulsing heart. The embers breathe with a slow, deep rhythm, casting a gentle, shifting light on his hands, his knees, the packed earth floor. The shadows in the room are now vast, silent oceans. His small island of light is the only land left in the world. He listens. He hears the deep, profound silence of the countryside at night. The wind whispers a lonely song around the corners of the stone house. It is the only other voice. He feels the day's ache in his bones. It is a familiar old friend settling in for the night. He feels the warmth of the embers on his face. It is a gentle, comforting hand. He stands. The stool groans softly under his shifting weight. He takes a single, heavy log from the pile beside the hearth. He lays it carefully onto the glowing bed. It is a sacrifice to the night. It is a promise of warmth against the cold hours to come. The log smokes, then catches, a new, slow flame unfurling like a sleepy flower. He walks to the door. He checks the heavy wooden bar. It is solid. It is secure. The world is locked out. His family is safe inside. He turns away from the door and the fire. He walks into the darkness where his own bed waits. The day is finally and truly over. He moves into the deeper darkness of the house. He does not need light. He knows this small country by heart. He knows the feel of the cool, packed earth under his feet. He knows the exact location of the low wooden beam that could strike an unwary head. His bed is a simple platform near the far wall, a low island piled with straw-filled mattresses and heavy wool blankets. His wife is already there. She is a still shape under the covers, her breathing a soft and steady rhythm in the profound quiet. It is the house's gentle, sleeping heartbeat. He slips out of his heavy tunic. The rough wool makes a soft, whispering sound as he lays it on a stool. He slides into the bed. The straw mattress rustles and sighs under his weight, a sound of welcome. He pulls a thick blanket up to his chin. It is heavy. It smells of wood smoke and the clean, earthy scent of the wool itself. It is the smell of safety. He lies on his back. He stares up into a darkness so complete it feels like a soft weight on his eyes. The day's long work has settled in his muscles. It is a deep, glowing ache, a quiet fire burning in the very center of his bones. He does not fight it. He accepts it as the final payment for the turned earth. Outside, the wind tells a long, lonely story to the silent hills. But in here, the only sound is the slow, shared rhythm of breathing. He listens to the sound of his wife's sleep. He feels his own breath begin to match its peaceful cadence. The memory of the sun, the field, the plough, all of it begins to dissolve. The hard edges of the day soften and blur. They drift away, becoming distant, half-forgotten dreams. He is letting go. He is untying the rope that moors him to the shore of the waking world. He is drifting out onto the deep, dark and silent river of sleep. And so the farmhouse sleeps. It is a small stone boat adrift on the deep, dark ocean of the night. Inside its hull, every soul has set sail on their own quiet voyage of dreams. In the barn, the great ox is a mountain of shadow, its slow, warm breath clouding the cool air. It dreams of green grass and the soft, warm sun on its back. The chickens are small, feathered stones huddled together in the darkness. Outside, the world has become a masterpiece of silver and black. The moon, a cold, polished jewel, pours its pale, ghostly light over the land. It turns the newly ploughed field into a vast and silent tapestry of dark, corded velvet. The furrows are deep wrinkles on the face of the sleeping earth. The hills have pulled the darkness over them like a heavy blanket. The olive trees are twisted, silver ghosts, their leaves whispering ancient secrets to the cold night air. The road that leads to the distant sleeping city is a pale, dead river of moonlight, empty of all life. The silence here is not the silence of stone and empty streets. It is a living thing. It is made of the soft sigh of the wind through the wheat. It is made of the cool, damp smell of the breathing soil. It is made of the vast, deep quiet of things that grow and rest and wait. The land itself is dreaming. It dreams a slow, patient dream of seasons. It dreams of the coming rain, the sprouting seed, and the golden harvest. For now, it rests. It gathers its strength in the deep, healing quiet of the night. And so two great worlds sleep under the same cold, silent moon. The city sleeps a sleep of stone and memory. Its dreams are packed tight within its walls, a million individual stories held in a honeycomb of brick and marble. Men and women dream of gold and favor, of laws and commerce. It is the quiet, humming sleep of a vast machine, its intricate gears finally still, its thousand fires banked for the night. The country sleeps a sleep of earth and sky. Its dreams are scattered and wide like seeds carried on the wind. A single family dreams in a house that seems part of the hill itself. They dream of rain on dry ground, of the sun on new leaves, of the slow, patient turning of the seasons. It is the deep, rhythmic sleep of a living organism, its roots anchored in the dark soil. These two worlds, the heart of stone and the lung of earth, are two halves of a single body. They are bound together by the silent, moonlit threads of the great stone roads. The wheat that will grow in the dark, sleeping field will one day feed the city's roar. The edict spoken in the cool marble halls will one day govern the quiet farmhouse. But for now, they are simply two different kinds of silence. One is a silence of echoes, of empty man-made spaces. The other is a silence of living things, of wind and soil and endless sky. In the deep democracy of the night, all are equal, the senator and the farmer, the grand house and the stone cottage. They are all just quiet vessels, holding the soft, steady breath of sleep. The entire empire is a single, sprawling dream, resting peacefully under the distant, watchful eyes of the stars. And so the great clock of the world has wound down. Its intricate hands, which measured out the hours of commerce and labor, are now still. From the crowded heart of the city to the farthest wind-scoured frontier, a single, profound silence reigns. The soldier in his cold stone fort sleeps under a woolen blanket, his dreams far from war. The merchant on a slow river barge has surrendered to the water's gentle rocking. The scholar has left his scrolls, the lamplight in his mind, finally extinguished. All the stories of the day have been told. All the words have dissolved into the vast, quiet air. The memories of sunlight and argument, of hot forges and cool gardens, of turned earth and shared bread, have all faded. They are ghosts that have returned to the deep well of the past. The moon continues its silent silver journey across the heavens. The stars keep their cold and indifferent watch. They see a world that has finally given itself over to the deep peace of the night. A world breathing in a slow, single, silent rhythm. There is nothing left for you to do now. There is nothing left to see. The journey is over. The day is done. There is only the great and gentle quiet, the deep, healing darkness, and the slow, inevitable, and welcome tide of sleep. Let it take you, there is only sleep now. But even as the empire sleeps, something remains awake. It does not dream, it does not breathe. It is the great network of stone, the endless roads. Under the cold moon they are rivers of pale silver. They flow over sleeping hills and through dark, silent forests. They cut straight and true across vast plains. Their stones are cool to the touch, worn as smooth as river pebbles by the ghosts of a million journeys. These roads are the threads that stitch a vast and varied world into a single piece of cloth. A road that begins in the hot sand of a southern desert may end in the cool mist of a northern forest. It is one continuous thought spoken in stone across 1,000 miles. The stones themselves are silent storytellers. They hold memories. They remember the heavy, rhythmic tramp of a legion marching to war, the sun glinting on their helmets. They remember the slow, groaning complaint of a merchant's ox cart, its wheels protesting the weight of wine or grain. They remember the frantic, hurried footsteps of an imperial messenger, his heart pounding with the news of a new emperor or a distant battle. And along these silent rivers, other stones keep watch. The milestones stand like patient, lonely sentinels. Each one is a silent marker of distance, a quiet testament to the immense scale of the world. They have seen generations of faces pass by. In the deep quiet of the night, the roads are empty. They are hollow channels, waiting for the dawn. They are the empire's skeleton, its hard and permanent bones, waiting for the warm flesh of life to return. With the sun, they wait. And where these stone rivers meet a true river, they do not stop. They leap. They soar across the darkness on the shoulders of giants. A great stone bridge spans a deep and silent gorge. It is a single, breathtaking thought, spoken in granite and moonlight. Its arches are great, yawning mouths of shadow. They drink the cool night air. The moon paints its high, flat back with a coat of pale, liquid silver. It is a road that has taken flight, a piece of the earth that has learned to fly. Far below, in the deep blackness of the canyon, the real river whispers its own ancient story. It is a ribbon of polished jet threaded with the cold fire of reflected stars. The sound of its passing is a low, constant sigh, a sound so old it has become part of the silence. From the height of the bridge, the water's voice is a ghost, a barely there memory of sound. The bridge itself is quiet. It is a great stone harp, and the lonely night wind plucks a low, mournful tune from its massive piers. The stones are cold. They smell of damp moss and the clean, sharp scent of cold water. They hold the deep chill of the river that flows forever in their shadow. This bridge is a creature of immense patience. It has stood here for 200 years. It has felt the sun of 100,000 mornings warm its face. It has felt the winter's ice try to crack its heart. It has felt the thunder of armies passing over it, a brief, frantic fever. It has known the slow, plodding weight of countless caravans. Now, in the deep quiet of the night, it is simply itself. A silent, sleeping giant, dreaming a long, slow dream of stone and water, a testament to an ambition so vast it sought to tame the very landscape, to stitch the world together, even across the deepest, darkest wounds in the earth. And the roads are not the only giants that stalk the sleeping countryside. Let us follow another. It is a different kind of creature, a long, slow serpent of stone, crawling on 100 massive legs. The aqueduct. Under the moon, it is a line of silent, marching ghosts. Its great arches cast deep, soft pools of shadow on the land below. Its long, straight back is a pale silver path, leading from the dark hills to the distant sleeping city. This stone giant carries a secret in its belly, Deep within its stone channel, hidden from the moon and the stars, a river flows. It is a captured river, a ghost of water taken from a mountain stream. You cannot see it, but if you stand very close in the profound quiet of the night, you can feel it. A faint, low vibration in the stone. You can hear it, a constant, gentle whisper. A soft, rushing murmur, like a seashell held to the ear. It is the sound of life flowing through a man-made artery. It is the aqueduct's secret heartbeat. The stone itself is cold and damp. It smells of wet moss and the clean, sharp scent of minerals. It has the taste of the cold, pure water it has carried for 100 years. This great, silent servant never rests. Even as the empire dreams, it carries its life-giving burden. It is the city's long, slow drink in the dark. It is a promise made in stone that when the city wakes, it will not be thirsty. It is another part of the vast, quiet machine that works on through the night, a steady and patient pulse in the heart of the sleeping land. But the empire's reach extends even further. Let us travel to the very edge of this known world. We go to the place where the straight stone roads finally fray and disappear, where they surrender to the wild, untamed earth. Here, under the same cold moon, another kind of stone creature keeps its watch, a great wall. It is a long, low serpent of granite and earth, slithering over hills and through dark, silent valleys. It is the empire's final, defiant line drawn against the vast, formless darkness of the unknown. The stone of this wall is different. It is not the clean white marble of the city's temples. It is rough, grey stone, scarred by the northern winds and stained green with ancient moss. It is cold to the touch. It smells of wet rock and the deep, wild scent of the pine forests that sigh on the other side. Along this wall, at measured intervals, watchtowers rise. They are lonely stone fingers pointing at the cold, unfamiliar stars. Inside one such tower, a single, tiny light burns. It is a small oil lamp, a brave, flickering star in a vast ocean of darkness. Beside it, a man is awake, a soldier. He is a small, warm flame of life in a world of cold stone. He stands at a narrow opening, a slit in the thick wall. The night wind, born in the wild lands beyond the wall, whispers through the opening. It is a cold, lonely voice. He pulls his heavy wool cloak tighter. It smells of lanolin and wood smoke from the small brazier that glows at his feet. His world is small, the rough stone walls, the weight of the spear that leans nearby, the low hiss of the burning charcoal. He is the human heart of this stone machine. His tired eyes, staring out into the endless, silent darkness, are the price of the farmer's peaceful sleep. They are the cost of the senator's untroubled dreams. He is the quiet guardian, standing on the very edge of the known world, waiting for the dawn. The empire has another edge. It is not made of stone and earth. It is a vast, living darkness that sighs and breathes in a slow, ancient rhythm. Under the moon, it is a great, wrinkled cloth of hammered silver, stretching to a horizon that is no horizon at all, just a place where the darkness of the water meets the darkness of the sky. But here, too, the empire has made its mark. In a deep curve of the coast, a harbour sleeps. Great stone arms, breakwaters built by 1,000 forgotten hands, reach out into the deep. They are a gesture of control, a calming hand on the sea's wild, dreaming heart. Inside these arms, the water is a sheet of black glass. It holds the cold, distant stars in its still, silent depths. The ships are all asleep. They are a flock of dark, silent birds with their wings folded. Their tall masts are a bare, black forest, drawn against the pale wash of the moonlit sky. The air smells of salt and cold water. It smells of damp wood and the sharp, clean scent of tar from the ship's hulls. It is the perfume of long journeys and distant lands. The only sounds are the gentle, rhythmic lap of water against the cold stone of the piers and the soft, sleepy groan of a rope as a ship shifts in its slumber. At the end of the longest pier, a single light burns. It is a lighthouse, another lonely watchtower on another great frontier. Its beam sweeps in a slow, patient circle over the dark water. It is a single, silent word of warning and welcome. This great, dark road is also still. It waits for the dawn and the first sail to catch the morning wind. Let us step aboard one of these sleeping ships, a merchant vessel, heavy and calm in the still water. Its wood is dark, stained by the sea and 100 journeys. The moonlight has painted its wide deck, a ghostly silver white. Coiled ropes lie motionless like great, sleeping serpents. The vast sail, which drank the wind across 1,000 miles of open water, is now folded away. It rests in a heavy, silent bundle, a great canvas wing that has forgotten how to fly. But the ship is not a dead thing. It is dreaming. You can hear it sigh in its sleep, a soft, deep groan of timber as the dark water rocks it with an impossibly gentle rhythm. It is the sound a great, tired beast makes when it has finally come home to rest. In its deep, dark belly, the ship holds the ghost of its last cargo. A faint, sweet and dusty smell of grain still clings to the wooden planks. It is the memory of a distant, sun-scorched land. It is the scent of a great river that flows through a desert of sand. The ship dreams of this other world. It dreams of the hot blue sky and the endless days at sea. It dreams of the terrifying beauty of a sudden storm, when the world was only black water and screaming wind. It dreams of the first sight of these shores, the low green hills, a welcome promise after so much emptiness. The ship is a silent library. Every scar on its hull is a chapter, every dark stain on its deck is a word, and now it rests, it rocks, it dreams, a faithful, tired servant waiting for the morning when a new story will begin. Not all of the Empire's connections are made of stone. Some are as light as a whisper, as fragile as a dry leaf. Let us find one of them. In a small, humble inn beside one of the great stone roads, a message sleeps. The inn is a small island of life in a vast, dark ocean of sleeping countryside. In its stable, a horse stands motionless, its head bowed low. Its breath is a soft, warm rhythm in the cool air. It dreams a horse's dream of endless roads and the cool water of a stone trough. In a small, windowless room, the horse's rider is asleep. The messenger. He is a young man curled under a heavy wool blanket. His own breathing is a quiet echo of his mount's. Even in sleep, his hand rests on the leather pouch that lies beside him. Inside this pouch, a secret is dreaming, a rolled-up scroll of fine parchment. It is bound with a crimson ribbon and sealed with a circle of dark, hard wax. This scroll is a captured voice. It is a piece of a distant world, folded up and sent on a long and silent journey. The words inside it are asleep. They dream of the hand that wrote them, the hand of a governor in a distant, dusty province. They dream of the ink which still faintly smells of soot and gum. They dream of the important news they carry, a story of a minor treaty on a forgotten frontier. The scroll has travelled for many days. It has felt the sun of a dozen different skies. It has felt the gentle rocking of the messenger's stride, a slow lullaby across hundreds of miles of stone. Now it rests. It is a silent seed, waiting for the right soil in which to be planted. It is a quiet arrow, resting in its quiver. When the dawn comes, the messenger will wake. The horse will be saddled, and this small, sleeping voice will continue its journey, another quiet pulse in the great, silent circulatory system of the empire. But a scroll is only a messenger. Let us follow the purpose of these sleeping words to another place. We find a quiet country house, a silent island in a sea of moonlit fields. Inside this house, in a room cooled by the night air, we find a library. Here, the lone scroll of the sleeping messenger has 1,000 silent brothers. Moonlight, falling from a high, arched window, touches the rows of wooden shelves. It illuminates the small, dark mouths of the cubbyholes where the scrolls lie sleeping. Each one is a captured voice. Each one is a folded-up piece of a distant mind. The room is a silent aviary of thought. It smells of old, dry parchment, a scent like faint, sweet dust. It smells of cedarwood from the scroll cases, a clean, sharp perfume against the night's dampness. It smells of the ghost of ink. Here, a poet's love story, written 200 years ago, is a silent, sleeping heart. Here, a philosopher's argument about the nature of the stars is a quiet, intricate dream. And here, too, are the scrolls of the law. They are the empire's unseen architecture. They are the invisible mortar that binds the stones of the aqueducts and the great frontier walls. They are the silent, powerful river of logic that flows alongside the stone roads. In these sleeping words, a vast and intricate machine of order is held in perfect stillness. It is a web of consequence and duty that touches the waking life of every person, from the emperor to the smallest child. It is the shared dream that holds the world together. Tonight, this great machine is quiet. Its intricate gears of argument and precedent are still, but its presence is a weight in the silent room. It is waiting for the dawn, when its words will be unfurled, and its logic will once again become the unyielding frame upon which the new day is built. And so all these quiet, sleeping things are connected. They are the different parts of a single, vast and dreaming body. The great stone roads are its skeleton, a hard and permanent frame lying under the soft, dark flesh of the land. The aqueducts are its veins, and even in sleep, a secret, watery pulse flows slowly through them, a hidden river of life. The great walls at the frontiers are its tough, scarred skin, feeling the cold night wind on the very edge of the world. The ships in the silent harbours are its folded hands, resting after their long work. The lonely messenger and the sleeping scrolls are its nervous system, its mind, its memory. It is the empire dreaming of itself. It dreams in the silent logic of the law. It dreams in the straight, unyielding lines of the roads. It dreams in the patient strength of the bridges. Every part is connected to every other. The soldier on the cold northern wall is connected by a thread of stone and law to the farmer in his warm southern field. The senator in the city is bound by a shared language and a shared idea to the sailor on the dark and silent sea. The empire is more than a collection of sleeping people. It is a single, vast organism at rest. It is a great, intricate machine of culture and power, its engine finally stilled, its gears cooled by the night. It is one shared dream dreamed by millions of order and of stone. And tonight, that dream is a quiet and peaceful one. Let us now drift away from these silent giants. We leave them to their long and patient watch under the cold, silent moon. The great stone skeleton of the empire has finally come to rest. The bridges sleep on their stone pillows, dreaming of the rivers that flow forever beneath them. The roads are quiet rivers of moonlight, their hard surfaces softened by the pale light, empty of all travelers. The mind of the empire, that vast and intricate web of law and philosophy held in 1,000 sleeping scrolls, has closed its many eyes. Its intricate arguments are now just silent, sleeping patterns, their fierce logic cooled by the night. The great machine is still. The furnace of the city is a cold, dark heart. The plough in the country field is a dark, forgotten shape, dreaming of the earth it will turn. The soldier on the wall, a lonely point of waking thought, is himself a part of the stillness, his gaze lost in the vast, empty dark. He and the farmer in his warm bed, the senator and the sailor, are all united now. They are citizens of the great democratic republic of sleep. Every person, every object, every idea has found its final, quiet place in the deep stillness of the night. The story of this world is now a closed book. Its pages, filled with the bright, noisy ink of the day, have been turned. The final sentence has been read. The last word has been spoken. There is nothing more to see on this long journey through the darkness. There is nothing left to explore in this vast, sleeping land. The journey is complete. The work is done. All that remains is the silence. It is a silence so deep and so vast that you can feel it as a gentle weight. It is a soft, heavy blanket of peace, woven from moonlight and starlight, covering the sleeping world from the hot deserts to the cold northern forests. Let this quiet be your own. Let the great peace of this sleeping empire settle upon you like a fine, cool dust. There are no more roads to travel tonight. There are no more sights to see. The world has given itself over to the night, and its work is done. And now you can too. There is only the deep, dreamless, and profound peace of the final quiet. There is only sleep. The world sleeps. But its sleep is no longer the rest of a single night. The silence of one evening blends into the silence of 100 years, and then another 100. The great stone machine does not wake. Its engine has grown cold, its fires have long since turned to ash. And in this long, deep slumber, a slow change begins. It is not a loud collapse. It is a quiet crumbling like old bread. It is a soft, green tide rising slowly. On the great roads, the change begins as a single, brave weed. It pushes its pale green head up through a tiny crack between two perfect stones. It is a question asked to the silent sky. Soon it is joined by another, and then another. A fine net of green life spreads over the hard grey of the road. It is a new map drawn over the old one. Rain and frost, the slow and patient artists of time, begin their work. They trace the small cracks, making them wider. They blur the sharp, proud edges of the stones. They pit the smooth surfaces that once felt the thunder of 1,000 legions. The milestones, those loyal sentinels, begin to forget. The rain washes the names of dead emperors from their faces. The wind scours the numbers that once measured the miles to a city that is now only a memory. A soft green velvet of moss grows over the forgotten letters, a gentle glove pulled over the hand of history. The great stone bridges still stand, but they are no longer just monuments of men. They are becoming part of the land itself. Ivy, like a second living skin, climbs their massive piers. Ferns grow in the cracks of their arches. The bridges become sleeping green giants, their stone bones slowly being reclaimed by the wild earth. The empire is not being conquered. It is simply being forgotten. It is a long, slow sigh, a great body made of stone and ambition returning to the soil. The dream of stone is fading. A new and wilder dream, a dream of grass and ivy and deep, silent forests is beginning to take its place. The great stone serpents, the aqueducts, also feel the slow, patient touch of time. For 1,000 years, they carried their secret burden of pure, cold water. But now their stone arteries are slowly closing. A single, heavy stone, dislodged by the patient fingers of ice and rain, falls from a high arch. It lands with a soft thud in the tall grass below, a sound swallowed by the great quiet. The break is small at first, but the water, that relentless searcher, finds the new weakness. A slow leak becomes a steady drip. The drip becomes a small wild waterfall, a silver thread of rebellion against its long confinement. The water no longer rushes toward the distant thirsty city. It spills out here, creating a green, boggy patch of earth, a tiny, unplanned marsh where frogs now sing their nightly chorus. Eventually, the great flow stops completely. The long stone channel at the aqueduct's peak, once a swift, clean river, becomes a dry, dusty ditch. It fills with fallen leaves and the nests of birds. A small tree takes root, its strong, young fingers finding purchase in the ancient mortar. The silent hum of flowing water is gone. The aqueduct's heartbeat has stopped. And in the city, the fountains slowly die. One by one, they fall silent. The bronze mouths of gods and monsters, which once gushed endless streams of life, now gasp only dust. The great public baths, once echoing with the sound of splashing water, and 100 voices become vast, silent, hollow halls. They are tombs of cleanliness. The silence in them is a thirsty silence. It is the sound of a promise broken, a great thirst that can no longer be quenched. The city begins to shrink, pulling away from its dry and useless monuments. The dream of endless water is over. It has returned to the earth, leaving only the magnificent, empty shell of the idea behind. And the great public square, which was once the city's roaring heart, has also fallen silent. The great smooth paving stones are now a broken puzzle. Wild grasses grow in the cracks, a soft green stitching on the hard grey stone. The silence here is a new kind of silence. It is not the pause of the afternoon sleep. It is the deep, final silence of a thing that is finished. The temples, which once held gods of bronze and gold, are now just empty houses for the wind. Their great bronze doors, which once opened onto clouds of sweet incense, have been torn away. They are gaping, dark mouths breathing in the damp air. Their roofs are gone. They are open to the sky. The sun and the moon now look down upon floors where priests once walked. They see only rubble and the slow, patient work of the weeds. The tall columns are a forest of broken teeth. Some still stand proud and defiant against the sky. Others have fallen. They lie like the bones of great white beasts half buried in the soil they were once meant to command. The statues of emperors and heroes have forgotten their names. The rain has wept away their features. Their eyes are blank, smooth sockets staring at a future they did not foresee. Birds build their nests in the crooks of their marble arms. Lizards sun themselves on their stone shoulders. The great halls of justice, where the fates of men were once decided with a quiet word, are now only echoes. The wind whispers through their empty halls. It tells a long, slow story to the crumbling walls. The vibrant paintings on those walls, which once told stories of victory and law, are now just pale, fading ghosts. The plaster peels like sunburnt skin, showing the rough brick skeleton beneath. The city of man is slowly, gracefully becoming a city of nature. The sharp lines of ambition are being softened by the green curves of forgetting. The roar of the crowd has been replaced by the rustle of leaves. The empire of stone has given way to a quiet, patient kingdom of moss and ivy. And what of the house we once knew? The grand house on the quiet street. Let us return to its silent door. But the door is no longer there. The heavy wood has rotted away. The entrance is a dark, vacant mouth, breathing a slow, damp breath of decay. We step inside. The central hall, which was once a world of cool order and soft light, is now a ruin. The opening in the roof, which once let in a perfect square of sunlight, is now a jagged wound. Rain and wind and 100 years of fallen leaves have entered through it. The small pool that once reflected the sky is no longer a clear eye. It is a choked green puddle. A small fern grows bravely from its muddy heart. The mosaic floor is a shattered memory. Its bright tiles are a field of broken teeth, their colors dulled by a fine grey dust. Weeds grow through the cracks, a slow green conquest. We walk through the silent, empty rooms. The chamber where the lady of the house once wove her colored threads is now home only to the wind. The loom is a ghost of rotten wood. The dining room, which once smelled of roasted chicken and warm bread, now smells of damp earth and crumbling plaster. The painted hills on its walls have peeled and fallen away, a lost and forgotten countryside. In the garden, the wild has won. The neat stone paths have disappeared under a tangle of briars. The fountain is silent, its bronze mouth choked with moss. This house is no longer a fortress against the world. It is becoming the world. Its stone is becoming soil. Its silence is no longer the silence of peace. It is the deep, final silence of a story that has ended. The laughter of the child, the quiet conversation of the husband and wife are echoes so faint they cannot be heard, even by the wind that now owns this place. And the country, too, has forgotten. Let us drift away from the ghost of the city house. We find ourselves back in the hills where the small stone farmhouse once stood, and it stands there still, but it is not a house anymore. It is a part of the hill now. It is a rocky outcrop that has dreamed it was once a home. Its stone walls, once so strong and simple, are now draped in a thick green cloak of ivy. The roof of clay tiles, which once held out the rain, has fallen in. It is a broken spine, a caved-in chest. The heavy wooden door has long since turned to dust and been eaten by the soil. The doorway is a dark, vacant mouth, whispering a silent story of the wind. Inside, the floor of packed earth is now just earth again. Wildflowers, blue and yellow and white, grow where the warm hearth once glowed. Bees hum a lazy, timeless tune in the air that once held the smell of baking bread. The great wooden skeleton of the barn still stands nearby, but it is only a skeleton. Its roof is gone, its walls have vanished. It is a cage for the wind. The field, which the farmer once scarred with his love and his labor, is now a seamless meadow of wild grass. It remembers the plough only as a faint, half-forgotten dream. The neat rows of grapevines are a tangled, chaotic wilderness. The olive trees are ancient and gnarled, their fruit now falling only for the birds and the mice. The story of the farmer and his wife, of the children and the ox, is over. Their laughter and their labor have soaked into the ground. They have become part of the deep, silent story of the soil. The land has forgotten the touch of the human hand. The slow, patient cycle of the plough and the harvest has been replaced by the older, wilder cycle of the sun and the rain. The small kingdom of man has been peacefully, silently, and completely reclaimed by the great, green kingdom of the earth. And what of the mind of this sleeping world? The great library of scrolls, which once held 1,000 captured voices, has also surrendered to the long quiet. Let us return to that silent room. The moonlight still falls through the high, arched window. But now it illuminates a scene of soft, slow, and final decay. The neat wooden shelves have sagged and broken. Some have collapsed completely, spilling their brittle treasures onto the floor. The scrolls are no longer sleeping voices. They are the dust of forgotten whispers. The damp air, the patient enemy of memory, has done its work. The parchment, once so supple and strong, is now as fragile as a dead moth's wing. It has stiffened and yellowed. The edges have curled and turned to brown, brittle lace. A gentle touch would turn it to powder. The ink, which once held the sharp, clear thoughts of philosophers and poets, has faded. The words are pale brown ghosts on a pale brown field. A line of poetry about love is now just a faint, meaningless stain. A complex legal argument is an unreadable scribble, a fossil of a forgotten logic. The crimson ribbons that once bound these scrolls have rotted into thin, dark threads. The hard wax seals have crumbled into dust. The voices are silent. They did not die in a great fire of war or argument. They simply grew old, they grew hoarse, and then they faded into the great, quiet hum of time. This is how a world's mind forgets. Not with a sudden blow, but with the slow, damp, and patient work of the centuries. The intricate web of story and law and reason has come undone. The threads have turned to dust. The great, silent aviary of thought is now just a tomb filled with the beautiful, silent, and incomprehensible ruins of 1,000 lost conversations. But the world is not empty. The stones are silent, but life whispers on. In the great public square, where the roar of 1,000 voices once shook the air, there is a new sound. It is the gentle, rhythmic clinking of sheep bells. A young shepherd boy, his face browned by a sun that knows no history, leads his flock across the broken pavement. The sheep graze on the sweet grass that grows between the shattered marble. The boy leans against a fallen column, its surface worn as smooth as a river stone. He does not know that he rests on a monument to a forgotten victory. To him, it is just a good, solid piece of shade. In the cavernous, cool shell of a ruined public bath, a family has built a small hut of mud and wood. The smoke from their cooking fire rises up past the ghosts of faded mosaics. The sound of their children's laughter, small and bright and clear, echoes in the vast, empty space where senators once made deals. A fisherman down by the slow, muddy river uses a fragment of a carved statue, the face of a forgotten goddess, to anchor his small boat. A woman grinds her grain on a flat piece of a fallen temple inscription, the laws of dead emperors now just a convenient stone. The great, proud bones of the empire are still here, but they are no longer the framework of a single, vast idea. They have become the simple, useful tools of 1,000 smaller, quieter lives. The roar of history has faded into a gentle, pastoral hum. The empire has not vanished. It has been repurposed. It has become the hearthstone, the fence post, and the doorstep of a world that has forgotten its name. And so the great dream of stone and order has not died. It has simply been dreamed in a new and quieter way. The vast single story of the empire has broken apart. It has become 1,000 smaller stories, whispered around 1,000 small fires. The great machine was not destroyed. It was gently taken apart, piece by piece, by the patient hands of time and need. Each part has found a new and humbler purpose. A column that once held up the roof of a temple now holds up the sky for a flock of sleeping birds. A paving stone that once felt the sandals of a senator now feels the bare feet of a child. The law that was once written in bronze is now written in the simple, unspoken rules of a family sharing their evening bread. The world has grown smaller and perhaps in its own way more vast. The great, straight roads of ambition have been replaced by the winding, gentle paths of daily life. The roar of history has quieted. In its place you can hear the soft music of the wind blowing over stones that have forgotten their own grand names. You can hear the gentle rhythm of a life tied not to conquest, but to the slow and patient turning of the sun and the seasons. It is a world without a single powerful heart. Instead, it is a world of countless small, warm pulses. It is a beautiful and a peaceful kind of forgetting. The great fever of empire has broken. The patient is resting comfortably now, breathing the cool, clean air of a long and quiet twilight. And so the memory of the great dream now lives not in the minds of men, but in the heart of the land itself. The empire has become a quiet geological layer, a stratum of ambition and forgotten stories buried just beneath the roots of the grass. The shepherd boy may not know it, but the sun-warmed stone he leans on dreams of being a temple. It remembers the scent of incense and the low chant of forgotten rituals. It remembers the cool, deep shadow of the roof it once held high against the sky. Now it feels only the gentle, rhythmic scrape of a sheep's bell and the warmth of the afternoon sun. The broken mosaic floor of the grand house dreams of the soft whisper of silk slippers and the murmur of quiet, lamp-lit conversations. Now it knows only the slow, patient pressure of a dandelion's root pushing its way toward the light. This is not a sad haunting. It is a quiet companionship. The great silent ghosts of the past have become the guardians of the present. The fallen walls provide shelter from the wind. The broken fountains collect rainwater for the birds. The straight, forgotten roads provide a firm, dry path for the shepherd and his flock. The old world did not die, it simply lay down to rest. It became the rich soil in which this new, quieter world could grow. It has become the silent, strong grandparent of this gentle age, watching over its children with a deep and unknowable peace. The world is a lullaby sung by the wind to the sleeping stones. And so our long journey ends, the story is told. The great book of the empire, with its pages of roaring crowds and silent laws, has finally been closed. What is left is not a sad ruin. It is a deep and endless peace, a world where the only ambition is the slow green ambition of the grass. The only law is the silent, patient law of the seasons. The sharp, straight lines of roads and temples have been softened into the gentle curves of hills and meadows. The great noise of history has faded into a quiet, humming lullaby, sung by the wind to the listening stones. There are no more places to visit tonight, no more forgotten arches to discover, no more silent houses to explore. The world we have seen has found its final, perfect rest. It has become a landscape of sleep, and now you can find yours. Let the quiet of these forgotten fields become your own quiet. Let the deep peace of these sleeping stones settle upon you like a soft, warm blanket of night. The story is over. The journey is done. There is nothing left now but the gentle, breathing silence. There is nothing left but sleep. Let us drift away now from that quiet land. The story is told. The wind, which was the only voice left, has whispered the last of its secrets to the sleeping stones. The great book of the past is now closed. Its heavy pages have finally come to rest. And now the images themselves begin to fade. They are like old frescoes, their colors gently dissolving in the soft, slow rain of time. Let the picture of the shepherd boy and his flock grow faint. Let them become a soft, hazy memory, a watercolor painting of peace. Let the great fallen columns of the temples lose their sharp edges. See them soften and blur, melting back into the gray mist from which they were born. The story is no longer a place you can visit. It is becoming a feeling. The feeling of cool stone against your skin. The feeling of soft, green moss under your fingertips. The feeling of the deep, dreamlike quiet of a field at twilight. These are the gifts the long-dead empire leaves for you. It offers you its final, profound peace. It gives you its great and lasting silence. There are no more roads to travel, no more silent ruins to explore. The journey is over. The great weight of history has been lifted. All that is left is the gentle echo of a long and beautiful story, a story that is now a part of your own quiet, a story that has become the soft ground on which your own dreams can rest. Feel the world we have built together dissolve. Let it become a soft, warm, and gentle cloud. Let it cradle you. Let it carry you away from the shore of the waking world. The past has done its work. It has brought you to this quiet place. It has led you to the very edge of sleep. And now, that story is gone. It has faded like the last wisp of smoke from a cold hearth. It is the ghost of a scent on the evening air. All that is left is this quiet room. All that remains is you in the deep, warm darkness that holds you. This darkness is a friend. It is a soft, heavy blanket woven from the silence of 1,000 sleeping centuries. It has the gentle weight of the deep earth over a sleeping seed. Feel its comfort settle upon you. Feel the firm, safe ground of your own bed beneath you. It is the last and safest harbor in the world. Your breathing is the only sound now. It is a slow and gentle tide rising and falling. It is the softest whisper of wind in a field of forgotten wheat. It is the quiet, rhythmic pulse of the sleeping world. Listen to its simple, honest music. Let it become the only story. Your thoughts, those bright and busy citizens of the day, are finally going home. See them as distant lights in a city that is finally closing its tired eyes. One by one their lamps are extinguished. One by one their doors are closed. They fade into the peaceful darkness behind your own eyelids. Let them go. There is nothing left for them to do. The day's work is finished. The body you inhabit is a quiet and beautiful ruin now, finding its final perfect peace. Every muscle is a fallen column, finally at rest. Every worry is a faded scroll, its ink turned to meaningless dust. There is only the slow, gentle rhythm of your own breathing and the deep, deep quiet that holds you. You are a ship that has finished its long journey. You have come home to the final, silent port. The last echo of our story has faded. The final image has dissolved into a soft and gentle mist. There is nothing left of that old world now. There is only this room. There is only the darkness and the deep, profound quiet that it holds. You are drifting now, a solitary traveler on a dark and silent sea. There is no shore behind you. There is no shore ahead of you. There is only the soft, slow, and gentle rocking, the quiet rhythm of your own breathing. It is the only tide. It is the only current. Let it pull you away. Let it carry you down into the deep, warm, and silent water. Deeper and deeper. Down past the memory of the sun. Down past the ghost of the moon. Down into a place where there are no stories. Down into a place where there are no words. There is only peace here. There is only stillness. There is only the soft and final quiet, the quiet of deep, deep sleep. There is only sleep. Sleep now. The tide has taken you now. The last connection to the shore of the waking world was a single silver thread of thought. And now that thread has gently, quietly broken. You are adrift. You are floating on the great, dark ocean of perfect quiet. The story we told is a distant coastline. You can no longer see its flickering lights. You can no longer hear the faint, sweet echo of its old songs. It has become a memory of a memory, a ghost of a dream that has already turned to mist. There is only the soft and gentle motion of this silent sea. There is only the slow, steady rhythm of your own breathing. It is the only current in this deep, warm water. It is a tide that pulls you ever downward, deeper and deeper. into a place of perfect stillness and perfect peace. Watch the last thoughts as they drift by. They are like small, bright, silent fish swimming in the deep water of your mind. They flicker once, twice, and then swim away. They vanish into the endless, soft and velvet blackness. The final thought is a single, distant star reflected for a moment on the water's surface. And now a soft, dark cloud has covered it, and now it is gone. There is only the darkness now, the good and quiet darkness. The darkness that holds no fear. It is a darkness that heals. It is a darkness that holds you like a gentle, knowing hand. You are a smooth, warm stone, sinking so slowly through the deep, still water. You are a single, dry leaf, floating gently down through the quiet air of a vast, ancient forest. You are returning to the good, soft earth. You are returning to the deep, silent quiet. There is nothing left for you to do. There is nowhere left for you to be. You have arrived. You are perfectly still. You are perfectly safe. Your body is a long-forgotten country, finally at peace. Your mind is a calm and empty sky without a single cloud. The last words of this story are dissolving now. They are becoming the soft, gentle waves that wash over you. They are becoming the sound of the deep, quiet water itself. Deeper and deeper, quieter and quieter. The world has been put to rest. The story is told. There is only peace now. There is only rest. There is only the deep, profound, and final comfort of sleep. Sleep. Sleep now. The story is gone. The last word was a single, silent feather, and it has finally come to rest on the deep, dark water. The circles on the water have faded. The last ripple is gone. All that is left is the perfect stillness, and you are a part of it. Your body is a quiet and gentle landscape, finally at peace. Your breathing is the only tide, a slow and soft and steady rhythm that rocks the whole world. Feel the warmth of your own bed. It is the good, dark earth. It is the safest ground. It is home. Feel the weight of the blankets upon you. They are a soft, heavy layer of quiet. They are a shelter from a storm that has long since passed. Your thoughts were once bright, busy ships sailing on the sea of your mind. But now, one by one, they have all found their final harbor. They have folded their sails. They have dropped their silent anchors. The sea of your mind is calm now. It is a vast and empty ocean of peace, reflecting only the deep, starless sky. There is no journey left to take. There are no shores to find. There is only this one perfect, quiet moment. This one long, slow, and gentle breath. Let it carry you down, deeper and deeper still, into a silence so profound that it has a softness to it, a warmth. It is a silence that holds you. It is a silence that heals you. The story is over. The world is asleep. And now you can be too. There is only the darkness now, the good and gentle darkness. There is only the quiet, the deep and final quiet. There is only rest and peace and the slow, warm and welcoming tide of sleep. Sleep. Sleep now. And now the story is a whisper that has finally faded. The last sound has gone. The last light is out. The world we built together, that city of stone and that country of green fields, has dissolved. It was a beautiful dream, and it has served its purpose. It has brought you here to the edge of this deep and silent water. There is nothing left to hold on to. The shore is gone, the sky is gone. There is only the soft, warm, and endless darkness, and you are a part of it. Your breath is the only rhythm now, a slow and steady pulse in the heart of the great quiet. It is the only music. It is the only tide. Let it carry you deeper and deeper, down into the place where there are no thoughts, down into the place where there are no memories, down into the soft and healing earth of true rest. The last word is dissolving on the air. My voice is becoming a part of the quiet. It is fading now. It is leaving you to the peace that you have found. There is nothing left but the quiet. There is nothing left but the darkness. There is nothing left but the slow and gentle rhythm of your own breathing, and the deep, profound, and final comfort of sleep. Sleep. Sleep now. My voice is leaving now. Think of it as a quiet traveler who has walked with you all this way, to the very edge of a deep and silent forest. But this is where the path ends for me. I must turn back, and you must walk on alone. Step into the soft, welcoming darkness of the woods. The ground here is soft. It is made from the fallen leaves of 1,000 quiet autumns. The air is cool and still. It smells of damp earth and the deep, green peace of ancient trees. The light of the day is gone. The light of the story is gone. There is only the gentle, moonless dark of this endless forest. Walk deeper. Do not be afraid. The great, silent trees are your guardians now. Their branches are a safe roof over your head. The silence here is a soft, heavy blanket. Let it cover you. Let it hold you. This is the forest of true rest. It is the place where all journeys end. It is the quiet heart of the sleeping world. You are finally home. You are finally safe. Let the forest take you. Let the silence keep you. This is sleep. The path into the forest has disappeared behind you. The last faint memory of the story is gone, a single dry leaf that has finally settled on the forest floor. There is only the deep, soft, and silent dark. This is the heart of the quiet. It is a place without time. It is a place without a name. Your breathing is the only clock here, and its hands move with a slow, deep, and perfect rhythm. It is a gentle, reliable wave on an endless, silent sea, and with each exhale, the world you knew drifts farther and farther away. Each breath is a soft, warm hand gently pushing you down into the good and quiet earth of true rest. You are a stone sinking through deep, still water. You have left the bright, noisy surface of the day so far behind that it is no longer even a memory of light. There are no reflections here. There are no ripples to disturb the perfect calm. There is only the slow, silent, and peaceful descent through the cool, clean dark. The last of your thoughts, those bright, worried fish, have all swum away into the endless black. The last of your cares has dissolved like a grain of salt in the deep, dark water. You are perfectly clean now. You are perfectly empty. You are a vessel of pure, profound quiet. The world has forgotten you, and you have finally, beautifully forgotten the world. It is a gentle and a peaceful unburdening. It is a welcome release from the weight of being. You are nothing now but a slow, deep breath. You are nothing now but a quiet, peaceful dream that has forgotten its own story. The forest has taken you. The silence holds you. The darkness cradles you. There is nothing left now, nothing at all. Only this deep and gentle being, only this slow and perfect rhythm. Only the quiet, only the deep, only sleep, sleep, sleep now. The last faint whisper of the story has dissolved. The final ripple on the deep water has vanished into the perfect calm. There is only the silence now, a silence so complete it has a gentle weight, a soft and warm weight, like a blanket woven from the deep, moonless night. Your body is a forgotten landscape, a quiet and gentle valley sleeping under a sky with no stars. Your breath is the only river that flows through this valley. A slow, warm and quiet river, making no sound as it moves toward a vast and silent sea. With every breath you take, you drift a little farther from the land of memory. With every breath you let go, you sink a little deeper into the good, soft earth of true rest. You are a seed buried deep in the warm, dark soil. You have forgotten the sun, you have forgotten the rain. You are only a small and quiet promise held in the deep, deep peace of the earth. There is no you anymore. The name you carry, the face you wear, the worries you once held have all been washed away. They are smooth grey stones at the bottom of a still and silent lake. All that is left is this peaceful, gentle being, this slow, quiet rhythm, this deep and profound stillness. The journey is over, the work is done. All that remains is the soft, warm dark, and the deep, healing quiet, and the gentle, endless rhythm of sleep. Sleep. Sleep now. Sleep. The story has finally dissolved. The last word has faded like a footprint on a sandy shore, washed clean by the gentle tide of silence. The world we traveled through together is gone. It was a dream, and it has left you here, in this safe and quiet place. There is only the darkness now, a good and friendly darkness. It is a soft, warm ocean, and you are floating on its still, calm surface. The bed beneath you is a small, safe boat, rocking so gently on the deep, quiet water. Your breath is the only tide now, a slow and steady rhythm, pulling you farther and farther from the shore of the waking world. Let it take you, deeper and deeper, down into the starless, dreamless peace of the ocean floor. The last of your thoughts was a single, small pearl, and it has settled into the soft sand of the deep. It is gone now. Your mind is a vast and empty house. All its lamps have been extinguished, all its doors have been closed. There are no echoes in its silent rooms. There is only a deep and profound stillness. You have forgotten the day, you have forgotten the journey, you have forgotten even your own name. And this forgetting is a gentle and a peaceful thing. It is a quiet release, a final, soft unburdening. You are a still and silent pool of water. You are a smooth grey stone. You are a single, deep and quiet breath. The journey is over. The work is done. All that is left is the soft and gentle dark. All that is left is the deep and healing quiet. All that is left is sleep. Sleep now. Sleep. The story has returned to the silence from which it was born. The last echo has faded. The last image has dissolved. All that remains is the deep and gentle quiet. You are a part of that quiet now. You are a still and silent pool of water in a forest that has forgotten the sun. The surface of the water is a perfect mirror, but it reflects only a soft and gentle darkness. There are no trees to see. There is no sky. There is only the deep and peaceful black. The small, bright stones of your worries have all settled at the bottom. They are covered now in a soft, thick silt of forgetting. You cannot see them. You cannot feel them. You have forgotten they were ever there. Your breathing is the only thing that moves here. A slow and gentle current stirring the deep, quiet water. It is a rhythm so soft it is almost a part of the stillness. It is the deep, slow pulse of the sleeping earth. With every breath, you sink a little deeper. The water is not cold. It is a warm and comforting weight. It holds you. It cradles you. It is a perfect and an endless embrace. You are letting go of the last thing you were holding. It was a single, smooth pebble of a thought. You open your hand, and it falls. It sinks so slowly through the dark, warm water, down and down. You watch it until it is a tiny, pale ghost. and then it is gone. And your hand is empty, your mind is empty, your world is empty. It is a beautiful and a peaceful emptiness, a quiet and a healing void. There is nothing left to do. There is nothing left to be. There is only the slow, warm and gentle descent into the heart of the final quiet. There is only sleep. Sleep now. The pool of water has become an endless, silent ocean. The last ripple from the last fallen thought has travelled to a shore that no longer exists. There is only the deep, still and quiet water. And you are the water. You are the stillness. You are the quiet. The story of the world, the story of the day, the story of yourself, are all books written in a language you have forgotten. Their pages have dissolved into the deep, warm water. Their ink is a faint, sweet cloud that has already drifted away. There is nothing left to read. There is nothing left to remember. Your breath is the only tide here, in this ocean without a moon. It is a slow, deep, and gentle swelling. It lifts you and lowers you with a rhythm so old and so peaceful that it is the rhythm of the universe itself. Feel the last of your edges dissolve. The line between you and the darkness, between you and the quiet, has faded away. You are not floating in the ocean. You are the ocean. You are the deep and the dark and the still. You are a long and peaceful sigh, a quiet and a final release. You have become the peace you were searching for. You have become the rest you needed. There is no journey now. There is no destination. You have already arrived. You are here in the heart of the great and final calm. You are home in the deep and gentle silence. There is only this deep and perfect peace, this soft and endless quiet, this slow and warm and final sleep. Sleep now, sleep. The great silent ocean that is you knows no storms, it knows no shores. It is a perfect and an endless calm, stretching beyond the memory of stars. The last faint ghost of light has finally given up, dissolving into the deep, warm velvet of the dark. This darkness is complete now, but it is not empty. It is full of peace. It is full of a deep and ancient quiet. It is a soft, heavy blanket that holds you and keeps you safe. It is the darkness of the deepest earth, where seeds dream of forests. It is the quiet of a universe before the first star was born. And in this great and final quiet, only one rhythm remains. Your breathing. A slow and gentle swelling. A soft and easy tide. But even that is not your work anymore. Let it go. Let the universe breathe for you. It is a rhythm that has always been and will always be. You are a passenger on a slow and silent ship, and the quiet rhythm of the ship is carrying you home. You have no maps. You have no destination. The journey itself is the rest. The journey itself is the peace. Let go of the tiller. Let go of the sail. The ship knows the way. It is sailing to a quiet harbour beyond the reach of the waking world. It is sailing to the heart of sleep. The last word of our story was a single, silent feather. It has settled on the deep water and dissolved. The last thought was a grain of sand. It has fallen into the endless depths. The last feeling is a gentle warmth spreading through you like honey in water. There is nothing now. Nothing to hold, nothing to be. There is only the deep, there is only the quiet, there is only the final, welcome and profound peace of sleep. Sleep. Sleep now, sleep. The last word has faded from the air. The final echo has gone home to the heart of the silence. The world we built has dissolved completely, leaving behind only this deep and gentle peace. You are in a quiet valley now, a valley filled with a soft, warm, and endless night. The sun has never touched the ground here. The moon has never cast a shadow. The walls of the valley are made of a deep and silent darkness. The floor of the valley is a bed of soft, cool moss, a moss made from 1,000 centuries of quiet. Feel this soft, deep moss beneath you. It is a bed made of stillness. It is a bed made of time. The last worry you held was a single, grey feather in the palm of your hand. You have opened your hand, and the gentlest breath of air, a breath that was not even a breath, has lifted it. It floated away into the soft, endless dark of the valley's sky, and now it is gone, and your hand is empty. Your mind is empty. You are not lying on the moss anymore. You are becoming the moss. You are sinking into the deep, green, and silent softness. You are becoming the cool and the quiet of the earth. There is no you left to be. There is only this deep and gentle feeling, a quiet and a peaceful warmth, a stillness that is full and alive. The world is a forgotten dream. The story is a forgotten sound. The journey is finally and truly over. You have found the final stillness. You have found the gentle, quiet heart of sleep itself. Sleep. Sleep now. Sleep. The street is a riverbed, its current of people now drained away into the sea of night. Only the moon flows here now, a silent, silver liquid. It pools in the hollows of the worn stones and clings like dew to the edges of the rooftops. The sun is only a faint memory, a ghost of warmth on the western walls. The air is cool and tastes of clean stone and distant water. An emptiness breathes where the day once shouted. The clamour of merchants and the rumble of cartwheels have vanished. They have been replaced by a quiet so profound it seems to have a weight of its own, a soft blanket settling over the city. The houses on either side are sleeping creatures. Their wooden shutters are closed like heavy eyelids. Behind them, dreams flicker like candle flames in 100 different minds. Here and there, a thin thread of smoke still rises from a chimney, a pale ribbon unspooling into the deep velvet of the sky. The stars watch, cold and ancient. They are the same stars that saw the city rise from nothing. They will see it sleep for 1,000 more nights just like this one. A breath of wind, borne miles away over dark fields, finds its way into the narrow lane. It whispers along the walls, testing the latch of a gate and rustling a forgotten leaf in a dusty corner. It carries the scent of damp earth and the faint perfume of night-blooming flowers from a hidden garden. The sound is small, almost not a sound at all, but in the great quiet it feels like a secret being told. A single dog barks far away, a lonely punctuation in the long, slow sentence of the night. Then the silence returns, deeper than before. The city dreams on, a vast and intricate machine at rest. Its heart beats slowly, inaudibly, waiting for the first touch of dawn. The emptiness is not an absence, it is a presence. It is the peace that comes when the world holds its breath, listening to the turning of the earth itself. This profound quiet is a landscape all its own. You can walk through it. You can feel its geography. The silence is deeper in the narrow alleys, and it opens up into wide, echoing stillness in the public squares. The great stone forums, so full of arguments and proclamations just hours ago, are now vast, empty stages. They are waiting for a play that will not begin until the sun returns. The stone benches are cold to the touch. The statues of old heroes seem to be listening to the slow breathing of the night. Their marble faces, washed in moonlight, look softer and more thoughtful than they do in the harshness of the day. A cat, a creature made of liquid shadow and green ember eyes, flows over a garden wall without a sound. It disappears into the dark foliage, a fleeting thought in the city's slumbering mind. The air itself feels ancient. It has carried the first words of children and the last sighs of the old. It holds the dust of countless yesterdays. It has been warmed by ovens and cooled by fountains. Tonight it is simply still, a transparent vessel holding the city's collective dream. If you listen closely, you can hear the city's true pulse. It is not the sound of people, but the gentle creak of a wooden beam settling. It is the whisper of a loose shutter tapping against a stone frame. It is the rustle of a mouse in the thatch of a humble roof. These are the small, secret sounds of a world at rest. From a hilltop, the city below is an unlit constellation, a sprawling field of dark shapes and deeper shadows. The Tiber River is a ribbon of polished jet, reflecting the distant, unblinking stars. Everything is in its place, held in the soft, dark hand of the night. The peace is a promise, a quiet assurance that the world has not ended, but is merely gathering its strength for the light to come. Even the ghosts of sound have gone to sleep. In the great market, the echoes of 1,000 arguments have faded. The wooden stalls stand like the clean-picked bones of ancient creatures. The ground, swept clean at dusk, holds only the faintest memory of its daytime scents. A phantom touch of spilled oil, a whisper of crushed herbs, a hint of dried fish on the cool night air. The vibrant energy has been washed away by the tide of darkness, leaving behind a profound and cleansing stillness. A central fountain breathes a soft, damp coolness into the square. Its wide basin holds a perfect circle of the night sky, a dark mirror reflecting the pinprick lights of the cosmos. The water does not splash or churn. It slips over the stone lip in a smooth, continuous sheet, a sound like the turning of a single page in a vast and silent library. This water is the city's secret life. It flows from distant hills through the great stone arteries of the aqueducts. These colossal structures, sleeping giants on the horizon, never cease their work. They carry the lifeblood of the mountains into the very heart of the slumbering metropolis. The sound of that water is the city's true pulse, a deep and steady rhythm beneath the quiet. It is a promise of coolness for the coming heat, a promise of life for the thirsty day ahead. The tall apartment blocks rise on all sides, their walls absorbing the deep blue of the night. Each dark window is a mystery. Behind it, a family sleeps. A soldier dreams of battles won. A baker dreams of rising dough. A child dreams of a game played in the sun. The entire city is a repository of these suspended tales, a million quiet lives held in the gentle hand of the night. The emptiness is not an absence of life, but a gallery of its potential, waiting patiently for the first pale artist's stroke of dawn. The great stone skeletons of the city have also gone to their rest. The temples on the high hills are silent houses for sleeping gods. Their massive columns rise into the night like the trunks of a petrified forest. The moonlight catches on the marble, making it gleam with a soft, internal light, as if the stone itself is dreaming. And the amphitheatre, that great vessel of daylight noise, is now a cup filled to the brim with quiet. No footstep echoes on its ramps. No voice calls out from its shaded galleries. The roar of 50,000 people is a ghost, a forgotten vibration that has long since faded into the cool stone. The structure breathes in the stillness. Its many archways are dark mouths, each holding a lungful of the cool night air. Below the arena floor is a perfect pale oval of sand, smoothed by the evening breeze. The furious dramas of the day have been wiped clean, leaving an empty page waiting for the sun to write a new story. The rows of stone seats curve upwards into the darkness, a giant sleeping fossil. They hold only the memory of warmth, the faintest impression of the lives they held just hours before. This place of spectacle has become a monument to silence. Its immense scale makes the quiet feel even larger, more profound. It is a peace born from the absence of chaos, a calm that settles in the heart of the storm's empty eye. The very air seems thicker here, weighted down by the sheer volume of the emptiness. The sky above is a canopy of infinite, distant lights, a silent audience of stars for the sleeping giant below. This is the Empire holding its breath, a moment of immense power held in perfect, peaceful balance before the inevitable dawn. And the great public baths, those palaces of water and steam, have also surrendered to the quiet. Their high walls, which hold entire worlds of heat and cold, now contain only the deep, resonant silence of the night. Within them, moonlight falls through vast arching windows, painting long, pale rectangles on the still surfaces of the pools. The water, so recently churned by hundreds of bathers, is now a sheet of dark glass. It is a captured sky, holding the faint reflections of distant constellations. Where shouts and laughter once echoed off the vaulted ceilings, there is now only the sound of a single, slow drop of water. It falls from a bronze faucet, a solitary note in the immense stone symphony of quiet. The sound travels, a tiny silver bell ringing through the empty halls, its echo the only reply. The air itself is a ghost of the day. It is thick with the clean, damp smell of wet stone and the faintest memory of floral oils. The marble benches, still holding a deep-seated warmth from the underground furnaces, invite no one. They are simply part of the sleeping architecture. In the hot rooms, the fiery breath has subsided to a gentle, humid sigh. The air is heavy and close, a warm blanket in the dark. The intricate mosaic floors depicting scenes of gods and swirling sea creatures are muted now, their vibrant colors asleep beneath the shadows. They are forgotten stories waiting for the dawn to read them aloud again. This entire complex, a city within the city, has become a monument to stillness. It is the quiet heart of the resting giant, its watery veins stilled, its fiery lungs banked for the night. The emptiness here feels sacred, a cleansing of sound itself, leaving behind a peace so profound it feels like a physical presence, a soft, invisible blanket covering everything. The quiet flows down from the hills. It follows the stone streets until it reaches the river's edge. Here, at the city's working heart, the silence takes on a different quality. It is a stillness laced with the smell of damp wood and the deep, slow breath of the water. The great wooden docks are empty. They stretch out like long, sleeping arms into the dark river. The heavy tramp of laborers and the groan of loaded wagons are gone. Now only the moonlight walks here, painting the worn planks in strokes of pale, silvery light. The merchant ships are tethered to the shore. They are patient, weary animals resting after a long journey. Their sails are bound tightly to the masts, folded wings that will not see the wind until morning. Their wooden hulls creak softly in the gentle current, a sound like a sleeper stirring in a dream. The ropes that hold them are tense and still, a silent spiderweb connecting the slumbering vessels to the sleeping land. Behind the docks, the warehouses are immense dark cubes of silence. Their great wooden doors are barred and sealed. The scents of the world are trapped inside. A ghost of exotic spice, a memory of spilled wine, the earthy perfume of foreign grain. These smells are all that remain of the day's frantic commerce. The river itself is a road of polished obsidian, flowing without a sound toward the distant sea. It carries the reflection of the stars on its back, a slow parade of ancient lights. The water laps against the stone embankments with a soft, rhythmic hush, a sound that is the very essence of peace. The entire waterfront, a place of constant motion, has been stilled. The Empire's great artery of trade has slowed to a gentle, dreaming pulse, waiting for the sun to call its restless energy back to life.